GNT Show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT Show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to Boliga, where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the G&T Show, episode 238. I'm Terry Lynn, and over there, still coming down off an epic rant, is Gettysburg 7.
Well, look who's back, thinking she's special. Over there to my left, your right, wearing her grass skirt and her Hawaiian lei. It's Terry Lynn.
I has coconuts.
And, sweetie, please.
Those are some big coconuts.
Yeah,
big
exactly. Those are like on Gilligan's Island when the professor found those seeds, those radioactive seeds.
We're making a radio out of Terry.
And there
Stay
he is to
tuned.
my right, your left, wearing the hat of shame. I don't know why, but he just needs to this week. It's Ceridium.
Kapla. Yes, I've been properly chastised by the audience.
Oh, well, we'll get into that, Mike, because you were doing your job. So I appreciate their thoughts. I have to say, they.
Well, now I know better. When Nick rants, just
Let him rant.
go.
Yeah,
just
you
let him ride.
You just
Buckle in and just ride
go
it
get a
out.
cup of coffee.
There she is across from us, still in her cap and gown. We get it. You graduated. It's Jespa.
Can you validate my parking, please?
I'll
Good morning.
validate you with the back of my hand.
Oh.
I don't care if you're a lawyer. Wait a
Oh.
minute. Is it personal injury law?
Yeah, but I was on the side of the defense.
Oh,
She
good.
would have represented you in your case.
Which one?
An assortment. I always like an assortment.
And there he is to my 11 o'clock, your 4 o'clock, wearing his grass skirt and his lei. It's Kajiro Vance.
Aloha.
I don't want to know what he's doing with the coconuts.
Oh, look at he's got his sexy voice on this morning.
I've got the sexy radio voice on today.
Nice.
What's under
And
the
there
grass
he
skirt?
is, still stuck in the closet that I've locked him in. Even though he did have a hilarious line last week, I still despise him. Steve.
Hello.
Wow.
Ooh.
What the fuck was that?
Well, the
He's
gang's
took
all
some
here.
kitties. Yes.
Well, I'm going to just start this off right now and say, coffee clutch in 10 words or less.
What did you do this week? Coffee clutch.
Nick, go.
Up at 4 every day this week to get into work because it was that kind of week.
Janet.
Cape Cod plus graduation. Thank you.
Oh, again with the graduation.
Steve.
Work, sorting out cars, more work.
Sorry.
Last week in the land of enchantment. Going home today. I know.
Alan.
I'm sad too.
I'm still on Hawaii time, so this is like 2 a.m. right now.
Yeah, I have to say it's a little painful. I'm tired. And yes, I just got back from Hawaii. It was
You were going to say
wonderful.
Thailand, weren't you?
Yes. It was actually awesome. Wonderful time. Thank you, everyone, for handling stuff while we were away. It was very
Hey,
fun.
I owe Club 602 an apology.
Oh.
And Magnum had asked me to be on yesterday, and things have been so insane around here that at 4 o'clock I looked at my watch and was like, oh, fuck. So I apologize to them.
Oh. Wow. Yeah. That was Coffee Clutch, you guys. The reason why we kept it really, really short was because shit happened this week. And I know that you're all
Oh
here.
my God,
I don't know what that is.
Shanna.
What the hell is
I
that?
know.
I
Hi,
know.
Shanna
Shanna.
is here.
Oh my
I'm all,
God.
I'm all a Twitter.
You should be. Shannon's
She's
in the chat
awesome.
room. Um, is a whole bunch of shit happened this week, and it's like Alan and I go away for a couple of weeks, and what the fuck? Although this
The
did
world
happen
comes.
while we were home.
Yeah.
Oh, we get it. She graduated. You went to Hawaii. Oh my God.
Well, I have to tell you guys, the first week was. I'm just gonna tell you, the first week was really
Well, that was the
was actually
conference
rough.
and
I
stuff,
I
right?
busted my ass.
Yeah.
I was so tired. By the time that our conference was done, it was extremely successful. But I did 5 presentations. 4 of them were different. And they all pretty much revolved around fiduciary duty. Isn't that exciting?
Okay, but were you sexually harassed?
Only by people I love.
No, it's not. Then it wasn't worth it.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, oh.
Whoa.
Oh, TMI, folks.
Whoa, hey.
Okay, let's get this out the door.
What was his name?
We're just gonna start right off with Unofficial Productions because we've got somebody Janet needs to talk about this. We all need to talk about this, but Janet needs to leave.
Oh, so semantic shenanigans.
Well, that
We have a
that's
segment
right.
just for that.
Semantic shenanigans. Oh, that's right. I love it.
Yeah.
We have a bumper.
Thank you, Katie.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble. Semantic shenanigans.
I'm just going to do the introduction, and that is this week at or it was a couple nights ago actually, at Paramount Studios. Paramount Studios had their fan event.
Yeah, way
which-
to run that so that the
No
fans who won the
shit.
contest could get in.
Yeah, a lot of people who won tickets, and some of whom traveled 3,000 miles to go, did not get in. It wasn't very kind. What I thought was weird is that they were allowing in +1s. So I guess if you won a ticket, you won, obviously, I guess, maybe the ability to bring in an extra person. I don't know. But a lot of people were bringing guests.
Well, who
And
knows? At this point, people can do whatever they want with Star Trek.
well, I I dinged Paramount for that. I tweeted at them and I said, what's with sending out more tickets than you had seats for? I mean, shit, even Creation Entertainment gets that shit right.
Oh.
Totally.
They do, though. If there's one thing that Creation prides itself on, is not selling more tickets than they have seats for. And it's it was kind of a sad thing. So our hearts go out to those of our friends who did not get into the event, but the event was live streamed by both BuzzFeed. We saw it on Trek Movie. I was having some connectivity problems with their Periscope. You kept having to refresh it over and over and over and over again, but they got a pretty good angle, and BuzzFeed had a pretty good angle, and so I watched it, and about not even 3 or 4 minutes into the presentation, J.J. Abrams and Justin Lin were on the stage, and J.J. Abrams makes this announcement that the lawsuit against Axanar was going away, or would be going away in the next few weeks.
We have
And
to be fair. This even surprised Alec.
yeah, who was in the audience?
Of course he was.
So
Yeah, he was in as a +1, by the way.
I think he was, but yes. Because I can't imagine that he received an invitation. I'm just saying, I don't think that there was an invitation forthcoming from the people who were suing him. So he was very surprised. I think all of us were very surprised by this announcement. And as you can imagine, everybody on both sides of the coin have gone apeshit. So
There's the technical term.
yeah, there's the technical term. So we asked, as you can imagine, we all called Janet, going, Janet, Janet, what's going on? And
We put up the
so
Janet signal.
it's
The
Would
like
you
this.
like
big
It's like a
Star of David.
no, no. I was gonna say it's a gavel.
Would you like the
So
clip played?
a gavel inside a Star of David.
Okay, Steve, somebody Photoshop that, please.
Oh
Would
my
you like
God,
the clip played of what JJ said?
That would be great.
that
Quick
would be
to the
great.
Jew cave.
A few months back, there was a fan movie, Axanar, that was getting made, and there was this lawsuit that happened between the studio and these fans. And Justin, and I need to tell the story because he probably wouldn't, was sort of outraged by this as a longtime fan. And we started talking about it and realized that this was not, an appropriate way to deal with the fans. The fans should be celebrating this thing, like you're saying right now. We all, fans of Star Trek, are part of this world, and so you went to the studio and pushed them to stop this lawsuit, and now within the next few weeks it will be announced this is going away, and fans will be able to work on their project.
So there it was.
That's
That
okay.
it was.
I'm going to announce right now that I'm working on a Cloverfield fan film. You can, and I'm going to pay myself in donations from my Kickstarter.
And build a studio. Don't
Yes.
forget that part.
Right.
Oh yeah. So we all kind of.
It's actually
we,
going to be a Cloverfield Fast and Furious mashup.
Actually, the way that JJ puts it, I think it's kind of funny because it's like, well, there's this lawsuit. So Justin Lin went into the office and told them no
Yeah.
because he has that much power.
it's
Yeah.
okay because Alec
Yeah,
Alec
because he's
Alec has
Spielberg.
already stated that he told Justin that he would name his firstborn after him. And I'm not kidding.
Really?
He
So
posted
Alec
that,
is
yeah.
saying he can get it up without.
Ooh.
Oh,
Doesn't he
That-
already have
that-
kids?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm sure they'll be doxxed at some point when somebody says, "Hey, Alec lives in California." Oh my God, you doxed me!
All right.
To answer a couple of real quick questions in the chat room before I turn this over to Janet, does JJ speak for Paramount? No. He just doesn't. He's not an official spokesman for Paramount. Be that as it may,
Not even a
after
spokesman for Bad Robot.
well, yeah, he owns it.
Shut up! I was trying to.
And it's CBS still suing. I can tell you right now, both CBS and Paramount are still suing, as it stands now. All he said is that within the next few weeks there would be an announcement that the lawsuit was going away. Shortly after that, both Michael Hinman and Adam Very from BuzzFeed contacted CBS for a quote. They were
How
both
fast were their little fingers typing?
they were shitting
Keyboards
bricks.
were
I'll tell you.
ablaze.
Hinman hasn't moved that fast. By the way, what's the date for Hinman?
May 22nd.
There you go, Michael. We love you.
Oh, that's right. May 22nd.
2016.
2016. Yeah, 2016. Just in case you weren't sure. So both Michael and Adam Very from BuzzFeed contacted CBS to get a quote so they could get, some alternative or maybe some additional points of view on their columns or their respective columns. Adam Very tweeted, they both had the same exact quote. And it was my understanding, at least from Adam Very, from Michael Hinman said he got the quote over the phone, and Adam Very said he got the quote via email. And the quote was that CBS, because it was CBS, does confirm that they've entered into settlement negotiations and are developing fan production guidelines.
And I would just say from a public relations standpoint, since that's what I do. So, Janet, just sit down. I got this one covered. It is not uncommon if you have a statement and someone calls, you just read that statement over the phone to them because that way you're saying the same thing to everybody.
Yeah, yeah. And that became obvious. I was when the quotes came out, I was a little bit kind of, where did these come from,
Yeah, who was
And
that tool that was giving you shit on Twitter?
oh, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who that guy
I
was, but
don't
I had
know.
visions of singing in the rain while I kicked his head in.
Oh, the one that asked me if I don't you know how to read?
Yeah.
It was one of Hinman's followers. Apparently
Oh,
took
really?
offense.
I thought it was an Axolite because that was the way he came across.
No, he came across as
Uneducated
me.
and full of himself.
Yeah, he came across as me dissing Mike. Like, can't you read? Mike told you what it was. I'm like,
Yeah, which
what?
absolutely
Back
has.
off, bitch.
If anybody knows our show, they know quite the opposite, that we like Hinman this week.
This week.
Which is the week of May 22nd,
Which
2016.
is the week of May 22nd. It's true.
Until he pisses us off, and
and then we have a little
throw a
bitch
bucket of
fight, and then we
hepatitis
get
on him.
over it. Yeah, I mean, that's just my relationship with Michael. I've known him for years, and that relationship was born out of the FedCon USA crazy.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's how I met Hinman, was when FedCon USA blew up, and Alan and I lost a couple $1,000 thanks to Mr. Brazil's idiocy. But
And if anybody has a couple of $1,000 they want to throw away, you can send it to Gettysburg 7, P.O. Box 624, New York, New York 90023. Remember those days when you could Rockville, Maryland, send them for your free pamphlet to
Chicago
Rockville, Maryland.
60609.
There you go. Battle
Pueblo.
Creek, Michigan.
Pueblo, Colorado. Get your free
Pueblo,
brochure
Colorado.
from Pueblo, Colorado.
For the G&T Show cereal from Battle Creek, Michigan.
That was the Kellogg's. That was everything you had to send in for Kellogg's was Battle Creek. All right.
That's
Start
where I
your
got
day
my
with
little yellow
Oreos.
submarine that ran on baking soda.
I remember those. Oh my God, my brother spent so much time in the bathtub. Listen, G.I. Joe going in the cave. Sorry.
Oh, God, no.
Oh my God.
I got some
Ooh.
eyes, and you ain't got none.
Okay, Janet, you are here to help us, to guide us through what has become kind of a panicked time for some people.
Everybody gather around the campfire. Janet's going to talk now. Make room for the other.
Ooh, applause. Thank you.
Make room. Make
Wow.
room. Shanna, move over now. Fine, sit on my lap. That's okay.
All right. All right.
Oh, Lady Renegade's here. Hi, Lady Renegade.
Hi, Hanny.
All right. So
Baby.
here's the deal. Whenever you get a communication, and I mean any communication, including us or me talking, okay? Critical thinking is a really great skill, and I think everybody should have it. All right. Just
Have you listened to the show?
I'm going to throw this one right out there. All right. And it's not that I think people are dumb. Please don't misunderstand that.
No,
It's
they
that
are.
it's that I think that the statement needs to be approached from a critical thinking standpoint.
Well,
Now-
we have to admit, Mike,
Yes.
you had a knife to your own veins when you first saw that clip, didn't you?
I was pissed off. I lost my shit.
Mike was so mad he grabbed the nearest thing. He had a cheese grater to his, his carotid artery, and he was getting ready to go to work.
Ooh. All right. So there's three facets of communication. There's the messenger, there's the message, and then there's kind of the ancillary stuff that goes around it, the timing and whatnot. So let's start with the messenger here. The messenger here is J.J. Abrams. He's not a spokesman for legal. He's not a spokesman for corporate. He's not a spokesman for PR. He's merely the licensed executive producer for the most current film, and he was the director of the last two. That's his relationship, as far as I'm aware. And if I'm incorrect, I'm sure someone will correct me.
He's the spokesman for himself.
Right, exactly. And for any companies that he owns. But he's not the spokesman for CBS or Paramount. So he talks, and it sounds like it's like there's an authority there. And he's certainly making it sound like he's got authority, but he doesn't really have it. So let's just begin with that. Secondly, if you recall from the short clip, in the short clip, there is from left to right, Mr. Abrams. In the center is Adam Savage. He was the guy who was the MC for the evening. And
That's
then
from Mythbusters, right?
yes, yes, that's correct. And then
Correct.
on the right is Justin Lin. And Mr. Abrams says Justin went to the studio and blah blah blah, and there's the rest of the clip. Who's not talking here?
Justin isn't.
That's right. So Justin, who's the guy who was there, says nothing. Abrams, who's not there, because if he was, he would have said, I went in with Justin, right? Or Justin and I did X or whatever. We did this. So instead, he's recounting the tale. Now, when we talked about hearsay, we've talked about hearsay a few times. Hearsay is, to remind everyone, it's an unsworn statement, which is, right now, these are unsworn statements as well, used to attempt to prove the veracity of the actual verbiage within the statement. Lots of big words, but the bottom line is that you say something, and you say it to attempt to prove that what you're saying is true, and you're not sworn, and it's not authenticated. It's hearsay. And this is not only not authenticated, but this is secondhand. And one of the ways that we can get around hearsay, now I recognize this is not a court of law we're talking about here, but the idea behind the hearsay rule and its exceptions is an effort to try to get the best proof possible, to get the most accurate and reliable kind of statements and communications that you possibly can get. You don't want to be playing telephone. And that's precisely what we have here, is that the person with the best knowledge of what happened in that room is not the one speaking. And that person was available. And that person apparently was unwilling to talk about this. So that should kind of raise a few flags in your head. Okay? Another thing, I recall you actually had said this, Alan, and I'm going to probably misquote you, but you said something along the lines of that this was done for like an applause line, like it was a positive fan response they were looking for. And they got it. They got a positive fan response at an event that clearly they were kind of falling down on, that wasn't going well because they didn't let in the right people. It was oversold and whatnot. So I can kind of understand some of the motivation. I'm not in the guy's head. I don't know exactly what his motivation is, of course.
It was
But
pandering.
yes, exactly.
It was pandering, definitely.
It's pandering.
Yep.
This is we go out there and we want to say something that's going to get an applause line, and that's exactly what this got.
Here's something you say. I love Star Trek. It's a great franchise, and we are so proud that in its 50th year we could put this movie out.
And or thank you fans for your support for 5 decades. Let's go another 5.
Who's peeing?
Me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It should be something like that. Those are, yes, they sound generic, but they're positive, they're friendly, and they don't get anybody into hot water. Now, people have said, they've said this on Trek BBS and in other places, that Mr. Lin and Mr. Abrams didn't get to where they were without knowing how the game is played, and that they should have understood that you get you get some permission to talk about things like this before you go spouting them off. And I think that may exactly have been why Lin kept his pie hole shut. He's shut up about it. It's Abrams
He's
who went off
hoping
the
to
res.
keep working with Paramount, whereas isn't JJ's contract with them like running out? I mean, near its conclusion.
It's either close to it or he wants out. Is what I'm getting out of this. Is that this seems to be like
A parting
like they,
shot.
yeah, like there were 11 out of 12 nails in the coffin, and he's ramming that last one in real hard.
I'm a little confused. Out of the Star Trek contract, or just with Paramount?
With Paramount.
Paramount.
Paramount, that he was
Wh-
trying to just
I,
get out of there
I
as
gotta
quickly as
ask,
possible.
why?
Because
He's got a pretty fucking sweet deal with them.
yeah, I don't think that they renewed, and he's off onto other things. It kind of all fell apart after Star Trek Into Darkness.
So, so he's not happy, or he seems to be unhappy. Certainly, if you were going to do a parting shot, it's a doozy of one, and it's a real, and it's also a way to make yourself look good, because it also, it's also
Well,
not
he
only
took
with
credit. He took credit.
yes, he
For
took
all intent and
credit.
purposes, he took credit for, really for he took credit by saying we forced, or that somehow he and Justin Lin forced the settlement negotiations,
It's like he took
which
credit for something in the process that was already in
he's not even
motion
involved.
by
Exactly.
virtue
Yeah,
of the process.
We all knew
yeah,
that they were in settlement negotiations because Alec's been talking about this for weeks.
right.
And yeah, and that's a normal part, right, Janet?
Absolutely. 95% of all cases settle.
Yep.
And you can even settle after verdict, I might add, because sometimes you get a verdict against you that's way higher than you can possibly pay. And the other side says, okay, we'll take less as long as we can get out of this quickly and we don't have to look at your face anymore. It's been known to happen. Settlement is very common. It's so common that it is banal. And in fact, from Mr. Peters himself said that when he was served either that day or the day after, was within a very short time frame, he contacted his contacts. That's sounds redundant, but he called his contacts and said basically, what will it take to make this go away? And that's a good prudent move on
Yeah,
his
that's a
part.
smart thing to do.
Absolutely.
What do they want? Where can we meet in the middle?
The
So
problem is that
settlement,
I don't think there's a whole lot of middle. And
and that's to be understood. So let me just get more into the message now that was
okay.
said. The thing about the message is it was unbelievably vague. It was almost like, and the people talked about the thing and the what and the who'sy what's and the maybe. It was so unbelievably vague. And once again, like I said, it was hearsay. It was slanted certainly to make Mr. Abrams look good, make Mr. Lin look good, and Mr. Lin was sort of like, who me? No, he kind of stayed out of this.
He was
And
along for the ride.
yeah, the verbiage about the fans at the end of the statement, it's a little hard to hear, but Mr. Abrams says something along the lines of, and fans will be able to continue their project, but it doesn't say specifically Axanar. So I don't want to parse this into every last monosyllable, but it's possible that he wasn't referencing the Axanar at all. The other thing is he uses the term, quote unquote, going away. That is, what a horribly imprecise term that is. As a person, as a lawyer, as someone who just got a communications degree, my God.
We know.
I know. I'm sorry. But the bottom line is that it's all about
You all have no
verbs.
idea how proud I am of Janet, and I only
Thank
say
you.
that because she's like
She's
a
like
sexy older sister in a Marsha Brady kind of way.
Marsha. But actually, I'm more like Jan.
Marsha,
But
Marsha,
Love
Marsha.
Jan. I always had a thing for Jan over Marsha.
oh yeah,
Oh.
I'm like neurotic Jan. But the thing about going away is that you're taught to mean what you say and say what you mean, and to be and the thing about the law, and I think kind of why the blogs have sort of taken off, and thank you, and I really appreciate it, is that I tend to write in plain language, and I try to write in plain language because we sort of get into this obfuscation merry-go-round
Mhm.
sometimes when we write about the law. But be that as it may, there is an effort to be precise, and the term going away doesn't mean shit. It means absolutely nothing. And news organizations ran with this and said, oh, they're dropping the case. And then a bunch of people said, oh, well, yeah, dropping the case and settling it, it's the same thing. Oh, Christ on a cracker, people. That's not true.
Hey,
That is
just
not
because
true.
you hate Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Okay, here's the deal. If you drop a case, it's that you're basically saying, whoops, sorry, our bad, we'll go away. We're not
Robert
doing anything.
Reyes said, take a shot every time Janet says I graduated.
I'm sorry, you're going to be in a coma. The poor man will. I'm not paying your hospital bills, but they're going to have to dry out for a
Bravo
while.
to Robert.
Hi, Robert. Anyway, so dropping it is just sort of trying to go back to status quo ante, and settlement is different because it's a negotiated thing that the parties talk about, and they try to get to a meeting in the minds. And I saw you say this on Facebook, Terry, and I thought it was brilliant, which is that usually what happens in the compromise is everybody's unhappy.
Yeah. It's an ongoing role, and of course, now I get to say this is what I do for a living. I'm a settlement specialist. That's what I did as an independent contractor. I would have insurance companies hire me to go mediate their cases. This is what I did for a living, because 95 actually in the professional liability and the corporate liability world, 99% of cases actually settle. So it's and there's just a rule, and it was one of the first things I ever learned, and that is the sign of a really great settlement is when both sides walk away pissed off, because it means that they gave up. Both sides feel like they gave up enough to overtake their risk of a bad or a downside jury verdict. That's really what it comes down to, is how much
How
are
do you know
you
your
willing to.
divorce settlement was
Yeah.
a good one? Because you're both pissed off.
You're both pissed off. If you're both pissed off, then you've done it right, because you both feel like you gave up enough. If one side walks away smiling, then something went wrong.
Yeah, that's too one-sided, and someone was taken advantage of.
Right.
Now, what we have here is if they were just told, like, was it last week, that that the second motion to dismiss was denied in its entirety, and the judge schooled the defense attorneys, I might add. And furthermore, they threw out the Klingon, the Conlang from the Language Creation Society amicus brief. They threw that out on its ear, just without so much as a by your leave. So CBS and Paramount had won everything. They had run the table, and for them to suddenly be saying, "Okay, sorry, we're done," that's not only is that ludicrous, but it's also potentially it could even be a Sarbanes-Oxley question of what's best for the shareholders.
Yaha!
Why would you? Why would you suddenly drop a case that you'd spent some serious money on and that you were winning big time, and then say, "Okay, sorry, oops, our bad"?
They are not dropping the lawsuit. For those who just went, "Oh my God, they're dropping it. That's not the case. CBS has said they've entered into settlement negotiations. Two very different things. This lawsuit is still very much alive.
And the term settlement has been used by not only CBS Paramount when they were responding to requests for comment, but it's also been used by Mike Bowden, and I hope I didn't mispronounce his last name, who is the PR person for Axonar.
Right.
So he's also saying that they're talking about settlement, and he also said, rather intelligently, he said that there are still there are still court dates coming up, and they are still going to abide by them.
Right.
And of course they are, because this matter isn't settled. So for all of the talk about, oh, it's going away in a few weeks, that's a prediction, folks. It's not a guarantee. It's a prediction. It's not necessarily a terribly responsible one. Now, the third part of a communication is all the ancillary shit that goes around it. Part of that is, let's just face it, folks, this is crappy PR, big time. This is horrible PR. Why the hell would you, in the middle of, actually in the beginning of your love fest for your new film that's coming out, why the hell would anybody bring this up? Furthermore, this was all done on teleprompter except for this part. So it smells an awful lot like Mr. Abrams going off the res and saying, "Okay, fuck you, I'm going to say whatever the hell I please." And then he drags Justin Lin into it. Lin, who still has a relationship with Paramount. Furthermore, it splits focus away from the film on a day when they're supposed to only be talking about the film. Now, if Adam Savage had asked him a question and then either Mr. Lin or Mr. Abrams had to answer it, that would be a different story. But that's not what happened here. Instead, this was volunteered, quote unquote, information. This was a volunteered communication. The guy just up and said it. Another thing, a lot of people in the audience, they didn't know shit as to what was going on. They all looked around and said, what the fuck are they talking about? Further, Axanar is small. Call me a hater, call me anything you like. I don't care. Go for it, folks. Knock
I call you
yourselves out.
graduate.
Okay, but sorry, Mr. Reyes, you're going to have to drink again. But, bottom line is that look at raw numbers. Just look at numbers. Look at the goddamn numbers. And that's in the most recent blog post if you're interested in reading it, and I appreciate if you do. Bottom line is that Axanar faithful, you put them all together from every objective measurement you've got, and it's about 2.3 million people approximately. And that's not even getting into the possibility that people would be watching Prelude not because they were fans, but because they were doing research, or maybe they had morbid curiosity.
Or watched it more than one time.
Right, or watch it more than one time. Or people who would be members of the Facebook group could also be people who watched and could also be donors and who could also have donated to more than one project. And because we know that people did. But hey, fine, we'll be generous about this and we'll say, okay, 2.3 million people.
Yeah.
Fine. You know how many views there were in 2 days on the trailer for the 2017 TV series that's coming out, the Trek series? There were 2.4 million people in 2 fucking days, folks. So they beat you
Hey,
48
Brian,
hours.
The Star Trek Beyond trailer in 24 hours had hit something like 2.7 million. So yeah,
And right now, isn't it up to 5?
it's an insane amount. It's
Still, the woman with the Chewbacca mask got 50.
Yeah. But we're talking about a number that's small.
What?
It's small within the fandom.
You haven't seen that?
Oh, yeah, you should see
Okay,
that.
hold on. Somebody give him the link of the Chewbacca mask woman. Oh my God, hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, Chewbacca mask girl. So
I'm sorry, when I hear Chewbacca, I think of 70s porn.
You've got-
ooh.
You
So,
feel 70s Earth Mama muff.
all right, so let me just try to wrap this up, please. Your XR isn't even a big group. So basically, what happened was Mr. Abrams pandered to what turned out to be a small yet somewhat vocal group
Mhm.
within in an utterly inappropriate venue at an utterly inappropriate time in an utterly inappropriate manner in an utterly vague, hearsay-ish, gossipy manner. And no wonder people look at that and say, what the fuck is going on here? Does this signal that CBS and Paramount are splitting their focus? Now, it might. It might, at least to a certain extent, because after all, if he thinks he's talking to, or rather he thinks Mr. Lin talked to the studio, quote unquote, studio, by the way, is not the legal department, folks,
Yeah.
in case anybody's wondering that, because apparently Mr. Lin and Mr. Abrams are a little unsure of that. It's not. But if they're talking about studio, they're talking about Paramount, and that's the only one they're talking about. If they have clout with anybody, presumably they have it with Paramount. They don't have it with CBS. If CBS splits off and says, okay, screw you, Paramount gets out of it, they get whatever payment or whatever concessions that they want out of this, and CBS goes on, can they do so? Of course they can. It would mean, however, that you'd start to see, once again, more requests for some of the minutia of who owns what. Because if CBS is suing over, let's say, CBS can't sue over Richard Roba because he's a character who's solely in the movieverse. He's not owned by them. But they absolutely can sue about Sarek, who's present in both. They can sue about Saval, the USS Enterprise, Vulcans as a species, Vulcan as a planet, Klingons as a species, Klingon makeup. Actually, Klingon makeup, I believe, was done on the movie side, so we'll forget about that. But costuming, other makeup, tropes, storylines, all that other stuff, the costumes and whatnot, all of that stuff they do have. They have a bigger case than Paramount. They probably have a stronger one, but it doesn't mean that Paramount doesn't have a case. Just because Abrams and Lynn are saying drop it, drop it, drop it, doesn't mean that Paramount or CBS is going to do that at all. And Paramount has got to answer they both have to answer to their shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
And their shareholders may very well look at that and say, okay, fine, we do want this movie to do well. We want it to succeed. But bottom line, number one, Exeter is a very tiny percentage of the population. Number two, we can show very clearly that that the defense is in the wrong, because hell, we're getting that from the judge, from the court, is saying that there's a good case here against the defense. So we don't even have to say anything. It's coming out from an independent third party. And thirdly, we may care a lot about how many millions or whatever this particular film makes, but we also care a hell of a lot about what happens and how much money is made by the future films and series that come out later, and all the other merchandising, the models, the tunics and all the other stuff, the convention tickets and whatnot. And if we start allowing this, and we start to if the line in the sand gets crossed here, then we're going to have a much, much bigger problem on our hands in the future.
Yeah.
I think that is something they should have a very long and heartfelt look at, rather than just Mr. Abrams spouting off in less than a minute off the cuff on something that he was totally unauthorized to do.
Right. But now we know. I mean, we do know that after all of this, we did get the statement from CBS that says that they are in settlement negotiations. Well, not surprising. It's nice to know that it's been confirmed. And my take on this, from just my personal point of view and my opinion, is this is a key period of time in any lawsuit, especially one that has such strong strong facts going against the defense in this particular case. They lost their motion to dismiss outright, which means now they're on deck to actually filing an answer. The moment that the answer is filed in court, it opens the door to discovery. So discovery opens the moment that an answer to the complaint or the answer is filed with the court. Now, an answer to the complaint, I can tell you right now, probably wouldn't contain a whole lot of information. They're going to contain what are called general denials. Essentially, they're going to take each cause of action or each allegation that are outlined in CBS and Paramount's complaint, and they're going to say, we generally deny this allegation against Alec and against Axanar. And that's really all I can tell you right now. I don't think we're going to get a lot of information out of Axanar's answer to the complaint. But here's what I think might be happening. I could be very, very wrong. We could see an answer filed by its due date. However, I'm pretty much under the impression that we may not, especially since it's now out that they are in settlement negotiations. Miss Ranahan must protect her client. That is her number one job right now. And in order to protect her client, she's going to want to keep him from entering into discovery. I really do believe that. And she doesn't want his personal assets and his personal bank accounts and all of that information exposed to the light of exposed to daylight. She's going to want to protect him from that. So it behooves them to enter into settlement negotiations now. It's very, very easy, and I'll tell you, it's extraordinarily easy to ask the court to extend the amount of time in which to answer, if you can get the judge to believe that you've entered into good faith negotiations. If you've entered into good faith negotiations, Ms. Ranahan can go to CBS and Paramount's attorney and say, um, and say, we've entered, we would like an extension of time in which to answer. And if CBS and Paramount say they agree because they feel that we're in good faith negotiations, they can stipulate to that extension of time and tell the court, we're in good faith negotiations. I can tell you that there isn't a judge on this planet who wouldn't grant that extension of time if it means he can get a case off his docket. And I do mean that.
Hell yeah.
He wants judges don't like to try cases. They just don't. They are too fucking busy. They if they can get a case off their docket, then all right. So if you guys are, and so what's going to happen, or what I think might happen, is that Ranahan's going to go to CBS and Paramount going, we're in good faith negotiations. Will you stipulate to a continuation? CBS and Paramount are probably going to go, if it means that we can get the settlement that we want, we'll give you 30 days. And then they'll go back to the court, say, we've stipulated to an extension of time. The court's going to say, sure, you don't need to file your answer right now. The new date will be blah, blah, blah. Probably 30 days. They tend to do them in 30-day stints. That gives them another month to complete good faith negotiations, which is why I think that you might have heard in a few weeks we may know. So I don't expect that we're going to see an answer filed by Axanar. I really don't, because by filing an answer, they're risking opening discovery. And I can tell you right now, if discovery is open, the amount of discovery requests that are going to be propounded by both CBS and Paramount would make your head spin. It's going to be interrogatories, requests for production of documents, and requests for admissions. And these things are onerous. They're beasties. And that's what's going to cost money. And it's going to really dig into a lot of the information we all hoped we would hear. But in light of the fact that CBS really is saying we do want to settle, we may never know. And that's what I want to make sure people understand. At this point, it's very likely we will never get the information about how donor money was spent.
Yeah. Now let me put a few dates up here. Currently, the answer is due the end of this month. Last date to add parties is June 8th. That's what I've been calling the Doe Day of Reckoning. June 30th is the cutoff date for parties amending their pleadings. Then October 28th is factual discovery cutoff.
A quick question. So if they get the stipulated extension that Terry was talking about earlier, all of these dates get pushed by 30 days?
Yeah, they should be.
Yes.
Everything will get moved back. Expert disclosures come in November. Motion cutoff comes in November. I'm scrolling while I'm talking. Pretrial conference is January 9th. Currently set, and then the new trial date currently is January 13th of 2017. That's the current date, because it had been actually for May of next year, and then it got moved up. Yeah, they don't want to go into defense doesn't want to go into discovery, and they really don't want the does to be named, because when the does start being named and that starts to stack up, I think that they're going to realize just how bad this is. Now, one more thing I want to point out here is that any settlement Mr. Peters has to be a part of, because he's a named party. And this also is telling me that the Abrams statement was totally weird and off the cuff, because Mr. Peters didn't know what was going on, and he would have to know about any settlement because he has to sign off on it. So, that's another thing that throws this out there and says, what the hell? It kind of, puts that in that, when you're, like the record scratch sort of thing. So let's put that out there. And, they, I lost my train of thought. But
the fact that he himself, as a party to the action, didn't know that CBS or Paramount had the intention of, quote unquote, he's the one using the term dropping everyone. He's the one that's out there now going, he's even posted on the Axanar page, the Paramount intends to drop the case. That's not true. He's misquoting. of all people should know that they're in settlement
Spin.
negotiations. Right. There's no intention of just dropping the case for no reason. It's just not happening.
Yeah, and the other thing is that if discovery was to go ahead, it would also be a lot of depositions.
Oh my God. Is Louis D'Onofrio kidding?
What?
Saying if we want to know where the funds went, it's in the yearly budget report.
Oh yeah, that's not a budget and it's not a report. What that is it's transparency theater and nothing more. It's
not-
something made to look like they're being transparent, but it is anything but.
It's not a true
My
financial
8-year-old
statement
can
unless
make a
it's audited
spreadsheet
by a
better than
third
that.
party.
There's
Right.
like a third. Isn't there like $1 million missing from that budget
Like-
report?
Like more than 600,000. Yeah.
It also doesn't have anything about the donor store. It doesn't have
Yeah.
much of the Indiegogo funds in there. You get the idea. A lot of this stuff is
Doesn't have
missing,
the
and it
Monthly
it's-
trips to Vegas to play poker.
yeah, a lot of this stuff is
Please.
missing or incomplete or it's a bit misleading. It's not even necessarily that it was done to be
And-
to deliberately be incorrect, but it is
Hey,
incorrect. It is hard to
D'Onofrio,
read.
D'Onofrio says no other fan film has released anything like that. Hey,
That's
how
also
about
not
this?
true.
Star Trek Continues is an official 501c3, which means they've been audited by the government, and they have. So get your facts straight. you
And-
Not the least of
dickwad.
which
I
is
have seen that paperwork. There is
Yes.
it is currently available for anyone to check out.
their
Their
actual
books are
financials.
open.
Their actual financials are available on that report.
If you're going to
So-
drink the Kool-Aid, know the flavor.
Can I also just say that other productions have actually produced something too?
Oh,
Yeah,
let's
that would
not
kinda
get
tell you where the
technical,
money went.
Steve.
Oh my God! I almost spit my coffee. That was awesome.
All right. So the only other thing that comes out of this is that there was an announcement that they are starting to look at fan film guidelines. We don't know what those guidelines are going to
Oh.
look like, and we also don't know where they are in the process of doing that. Maybe they just started, or maybe they have something and they're just dotting the i's and crossing the t's. We don't know. Everybody looks at the Star Wars fan film guidelines. Those are only for
No, my
competition.
hatred. You know what? Hold on, Janet. The hatred runs deep with you. No, my hatred is for people who don't use facts and logic and who swallow Kool-Aid like they swallow Alex's jizz. Fucking do some research and don't fucking just depend on Lord High Savior Dickwad. Do some actual fucking research.
Is this what it was like last week?
Oh, this is nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is
No,
even
that was
close to it.
tame.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were
So
sound effects involved last week.
Yeah, here's Lewis.
There we go.
All right,
Alex,
all
you're
right.
the best. You're the best.
Beyond all of this, if whatever fan film guidelines may or may not come out here, we keep looking at the Star Wars fan film guidelines, but they're not dispositive. It's only because they're the closest example that we've got. If Prelude was following the Star Wars fan film guidelines, they would have failed miserably in 3 areas. Number 1, no swearing. Number 2, they can't be over 5 minutes long. Number 3, you can't put anybody's name on it unless you've got permission. And maybe Tony Todd would have something to say about that one. So we don't know what the fan film guidelines are going to be, but if I was a betting person, which I'm actually really not, I would say that I think that they're going to come down pretty hard when it comes to crowdfunding.
crowdfunding. I agree.
Because that has really, really blurred lines. It's gotten difficult, and it's been very tempting for people,
Yep.
understandably. And there's such an opportunity for abuse. It doesn't mean that abuse happened, but there's a bigger opportunity for it when there's bigger money on the table.
That's right. And yes, everybody in the chat room is going, those are contest guidelines. That's correct. These are just the Star Wars fan film contest guidelines.
Does
they're-
anybody think if
But I need to address that because it's very important for us to make the distinction. If CBS and Paramount come together and actually create a non-contest format for guidelines, it will be the first time ever that we've ever seen anything along those lines come out, giving directive for people to just make fan films on without there being a contest involved. And it's striking this would be huge and groundbreaking and frustrating because we used to have a freedom that um, that and everybody knew. You know what? I'm going to say it, and it still bothers me a lot about some of the more, you know, and it's something that James Colley posted today, and that was we never had a problem. We never had a problem in the fan film community until people started taking money or getting paid. And it was something that we've on this show even talked about, and not just about Axanar. We talked about the other productions as well, that we were concerned about the level of professional payment that was going on within some of these within some of the new productions that were coming out, and that it might start to cause a problem for those of us who loved the amateur and the just the fan film world, and not just fan film. But what if this is more than just fan films, you guys? What if the guidelines come out about any type of fan production, including fan fiction? They have the right to do this. They have the right to say, you can do this, you can't do this, you can do this. It it it's frustrating for me to think that out of all of this, what we're going to get are rules that we never had breached before, because we all knew we all knew what the rules were, and the rules were you don't poke the skunk with a stick.
Yep.
And
I
these
produce
audio
audio
dramas.
fiction. Yes, and that. So I am concerned because as someone who participates in the community, I want to know how it's going to affect me, what I'm going to be able to do, and what I'm not going to be able to do. Before, as long as I was respectful and did not do anything that poked the skunk, it was okay, But now I'm going to have to, tread lightly.
What about a band like 5-Year Mission?
Well, they're parody.
Yeah, well,
No, they are.
I know, but if we're gonna fuck it, fuck it for everyone.
I don't think that's.
Alec
I
wants to
really
watch
don't
the
believe
world
that's what we're
burn
gonna get.
because he's a
No.
fucking egotistic douchebag, scumbag, lying Bernie Madoff motherfucker.
Okay. I know you're not done
And
yet.
he's got his little fucking followers who just want to buff his nails and coif his hair and fucking tell him how fucking wonderful he is and say, "Oh, you're right. You're the fan of fans. Fuck
Yeah.
them all." And if they have a settlement, how long do you think it would be before he broke the NDA?
Well,
10 minutes?
Well,
8?
and wouldn't that just turn everything on its ear?
Fucking awesome.
I tell you, it's just it's frustrating for me because I also, again, we're all writers. We've all done, almost everybody in this room. I don't think Alan has written fan fiction. And and we appreciate the ability to play in that sandbox. None of us do it for any money. We do it for the love. We get to play in the sandbox, right? And the fact of the matter is that Axanar is the one that crossed the line. It really did. It crossed the line because, well, I want to make sure I phrase this correctly. Well, people say, "Oh, there was a nonprofit. They didn't make a profit." There was a personal financial benefit. And regardless of how you define the word profit, the fact of the matter is Alec personally profited from donors' money. He took donors' money and personally put it into his account and then spent it on his own self. That's a personal remuneration. That is a personal profit. Also, he created multiple companies to support the creation of Axanar, allegedly, although that never really happened because we saw Dick come out. But PropWorks, the other company they were creating to help fulfill donor products, right? All of that shit that went out the door that they're selling
Don't you mean it is supposed to have gone
all
out
of
the
these
door?
all of these little ancillary companies were created. Those companies could make money. Those
Oh,
companies were also owned by Alec Peters,
and don't
which
even
means
forget
he was
Valkyrie
personally
Studios.
profiting or getting a personal financial benefit from those companies. So if those companies made money from the donors from Axanar, then he received the potential benefit from that. Even if those companies went on to make an actual huge profit from somebody else other than Axanar, another movie company or another movie production, the fact of the matter is the creation of that company was used capital funds from donors. It was created on the back of the Star Trek IP. He would personally benefit in perpetuity from that. So you may say, oh, these are nonprofit organizations. The fact of the matter is, he is the owner of these companies and would be receiving the financial benefit, especially if he pays himself as a salary as an officer of each one of those companies. Get it? That's what crossed the line. That's really what crossed the line here, is the fact that he was creating an empire, a studio of his own on the back of another company's intellectual property. And that's what pissed us all off, because we all kind of went, well, that's not fair. You don't get to, it's like I said before, you don't get to just go out and make fan fiction on somebody else's books and then create a studio making movies on somebody else's books and then say, but I didn't personally profit. But everything came out of the fact that you created something on an IP that somebody else owned. That's exactly what happened here. And is it different from every other fan production? Hell yes.
Yes, lots. The salary, the transparency theater, the the studio, the merchandising, the donor store, the highly likely commingling of funds with at least one company that was allegedly in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. All of this stuff, all over again and again, is what sets this uh, train wreck apart from fan films. This is not a fan film. This was a startup, basically. It was a startup that they tried to fund in a manner that was utterly inappropriate.
Yeah.
And now they're paying for it. Now, what is a settlement going to look like? There are lots of ways a settlement could go.
Yeah.
And in particular, if it gets split between Paramount and CBS, I imagine that Paramount would just go for bucks. And maybe for some sort of a promise to not do it again kind of thing. They would probably stop somewhere in that area. I think CBS is more interested in going after the studio, and of course, I'm not in the room for that, so I don't really know for sure. Those are my speculations, but I believe that's what's going to happen. Now, for the donors, hi donors. This once again, unfortunately, this lawsuit is not yours. You are not a beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
You do not get anything from this. The chances of you getting a refund, of any settlement being that you get a refund, those are pretty much zero. That's pie in the sky. Yeah, I know I say pie all the time, but that's what it is. That's wishful thinking. It's magical thinking. If you want something, if you feel that you've been wronged, if you want to get something back, you can contact your credit card company, but the door is shutting on that. That's not open on an infinite basis. You can contact your local representative, but it's an election year in America, so good luck on that one. You can contact a local crusading consumer affairs reporter. That might be one way of going. You can also contact the California Attorney General's office. They've got actually a rather convenient form, and tell them that you've been aggrieved by this. And you can also, if you like, band together with other aggrieved donors, and you can start a class action suit. Or you can just say, screw it, wash your hands of it, consider it a learning experience, and move on with your life. If you didn't donate a lot, that's probably the easiest way of handling it. The path of least resistance may very well be the way to do it. I would hope, though, that no matter what you decide to do, or if you decide not to do anything, I do hope that you come away from this with a greater appreciation for doing your research, doing due diligence before you open your wallet. And yes, I'm well aware that legitimate fan film productions are hurting, and I'm well aware that they may feel that they're getting an Axanar effect from this. And I'm sorry for them. I really am, because I do want to see them succeed. But the bottom line is, I think that people should be careful with the funds that they dole out. If you want to dole out funds to a production that is working hard and is putting stuff up on the screen, I think one of the easiest ways you can do your research is go to YouTube and start looking at their stuff. If they got stuff out there that they're producing that's coming out on a regular basis that you like, then by all means, you might as well go ahead if you wish. Go and do it with my blessing, or if you need it. But if you're not seeing a product and you're instead seeing a lot of negativity and flack,
Or if you're
and there's
seeing mission creep.
yeah, and a big fat lawsuit that's dropping on top of all this, you might want to think twice. And also the other thing is here. Let's lay this also all down on the line. Let's say Mr. Abrams is 100% perfectly correct. The lawsuit is going away because Paramount and CBS are so scared. They're running away, tails tucked between their legs. Oh my God, we're so frightened of you, Alec Peters. Even if that was to happen, guess what, folks? Big fat spoiler alert right now. The movie is not going to fucking get made. You want to know why that movie's not going to be made? Because number one, they don't have enough money. Number two, their actors have departed. And number three, they have burned almost every fucking bridge in Hollywood.
Pretty much.
And that means that they're not going to get anybody to make this film, and they don't have any money in which to do it.
Remember how they were refunding people? Now they're saying, "Oh, we can't do that."
Yeah, they should be doing that, but they're not. And I think it's going to take a lawsuit. I think it's going to take a verdict or a settlement to make them do that. But I don't think that's going to come from this case.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think the money's gone, much is pretty much obvious, or it's been used to other things. And but if somebody wants to prove me wrong and say that they still have $600,000 in an account, they can show me the bank statement. That would be awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm kind of heartbroken. I do want to read everybody that a wonderful post that James Colley posted earlier, and I think it kind of goes to the heart of the matter and the heart of what defines a fan film. And if there's anybody who can define what a fan film is, it's Mr. Colley, because he essentially was one of the pioneers of the true an Aurora kind of thing of making a fan film that was a tribute to Star Trek. So he said the fan film world should be above the standard operating procedure of, quote, Hollywood BS and backstabbing, unquote. The problem is it is not. Fan films are supposed to be made by friends with a common love of the material and the sheer enjoyment of doing this incredible thing they love together. That was my goal when I started my project many years ago. More often than not, fan films are being hijacked. They've been turned into a nasty competition and popularity contest. Many of the so-called pros who get involved are more and more in reality people looking to climb a ladder to get somewhere in the industry and get paid bucks to participate, while the true fan producers go into debt and kill themselves to fund the party. You don't get involved in making fan film to further your career, get paid, or win an online popularity contest. You do get involved to play, share, and celebrate. That is the true definition of fan films. I couldn't agree more.
That is well said.
And that is what we've all loved about the fan production world, not just of films, but of audio dramas and fan fiction as well. And I would hope that any new guidelines that do come out from CBS and or Paramount take into consideration and bring us back and to that goal. I don't care if your fan film is shiny and has a bunch of amazing visual effects. I personally, if your story's good, I don't care if it's a guy in a rubber suit. I just don't. If the story is good, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna listen to it. And don't charge for it. Don't make
I
money off of it.
I think that people also kind of got caught up in supporting XNR because they felt it was a very good-looking film, and the corollary to that was that they were very angry with the J.J. Abrams films. But I asked those folks to kind of think a little bit about what it might mean to them if XNR wasn't so good-looking, and if they would be quite so supportive of it. And if it's only the polished sheen and the visuals that are telling you to support it, then I think you've got your priorities a little misplaced. It's like
Yeah.
saying that we're not going to that if Kim Kardashian gets into a car accident and kills someone, we're not going to charge her with vehicular homicide because she's got a nice booty.
Wait, what?
Well, that silenced the
I
crowd.
just woke up, Nick.
I was like, oh my God, she said booty. She said booty. It's so cute. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I truly look forward to the next couple of weeks. I hope that we get some more information about the potential. The one thing we're not going to hear are how are the settlement negotiations going, unless Alec decides to, spout off about that. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Otherwise, nobody's going to talk about
Yeah,
that, or
no,
at
we're
least
not
they
going to hear it
shouldn't.
from with CBS and Paramount. We're just not. But we'll know more. When is the due date again for the answer to be filed?
It should be 21 days after the denial of the motion to dismiss, which was on the 10th. That would make it the 31st. Alec actually had said that it was due in 2 weeks. Whether he's not counting, he's counting differently from me, or maybe the clock started a little differently. I'm not gonna quibble over the days here. I'll just watch Pacer every day, and Carlos Pedraza, hi Carlos, will probably watch it as well.
Yeah.
And so either way, we'll get it to you once it comes out on Pacer.
Awesome.
If it does.
If it does, or what we may end up hearing is that an extension's been filed. We'll see. It'll be an interesting next couple of weeks. And Janet, as always, thank you for your wonderful guidance in this. I don't want
Yes,
to
thank
keep
you.
you
My
if you have
pleasure.
to leave.
And one more thing. I know a lot of people have been saying I've been spending a lot of time on this. I have. Number one, because I enjoy it. Number two, because people have questions, and number three, because I consider it kind of to be a bit of my mission to make the law more approachable for people and more understandable. Because, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, lawyers, we do wield words like weapons, but we also tend to be very good at obfuscating. That we'll sort of use them to build a fortress around the profession, and I'm here to try to tear down that wall a little bit and make things more interesting. And let me tell you, I'll be very happy when this case is done, because I would actually like to start blogging about how fandom in general, not necessarily Trek fandom, but how fandom in general collides with the law.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of other cases out there. There's lots of other stuff that we could be talking about.
I agree.
And this is nowhere near the only thing. This barely scratches the surface as to what's out there.
And
thanks.
and you're very welcome, and thank you. And for a lot of our listeners, believe it or not, the law can be interesting and fun. We get a kick out of it.
And I get to say booty.
And you get to say things like booty. This is so great. We do need to kind of move on. We do have tons of news this week on other items. We did post, there's some people in the chat room who are talking about a recent quote out from Tommy Kraft regarding his reaction to the announcement that the case may have been being dropped. It's an interesting piece. He is none too happy with Axanar. If you want to read it, we have the link. It will be available. and AXA Monitor just posted an analysis of his.
And I'm just going to interject really quickly here because I'm gonna bow out because we're going to the Red Sox game. Woohoo!
Yay!
So
Oh
Why?
my God.
I'd
yeah,
rather
I will.
spend time with Alec.
Oh man, we're gonna have fun. But
Why?
anyway,
It's the Red Sox. How can you have fun?
Dude,
I love the
it's
Red Sox. So anyway, thank you again for listening, and be back in a week.
Remember, Red Sox fans are the ones who complain to Major League Baseball. After Pedro said, "I'm the Yankees' daddy," they complained that the Red Sox,
oh God,
that the
he's off.
Yankees had a shirt made that said, "Hey Pedro, who's your daddy?" Fucking little wussies.
Yeah, that was over 10 years ago.
Doesn't matter.
Actually,
That
all right.
sums them up.
Okay, quick question before I go. Next Monday is Memorial Day. We are. Oh, never mind. We don't broadcast on Monday. I'm in space. I'm going to the damn Red
And you
Sox
just
game.
Have a
graduated,
good
huh?
Damn
time.
it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, Janet.
Take care.
Bye, Janet.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, I love her so very much. I really do.
Did you know she just graduated?
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, Nick. I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. How you
Yeah.
doing?
All right.
All right. All right.
I'm sorry.
We're-
I'm working on my Cloverfield's fan film script.
Does it
Don't
have a
forget.
Felicity tie-in?
Oh, of course it does. And Lost.
Nice.
Nice.
And I will be selling Cloverfield coffee real soon.
That actually sounds kind of nasty.
Well, it tastes like monster ass.
I was gonna say it tastes like monster shit. For those who were, thanks again to Janet for her wonderful semantics shenanigans. We have a bunch of links regarding the quotes that came out from Adam Very, Mike Bodden, J.J. Abrams. All of those links will be available in our show notes, and are already, or most of them are already available in her blog under the Fan Dance. You can head over to, not now, don't leave now, but after, or you can open up a new tab. You can do that. You can open up a new tab and go to the G&T Show website, click on the Fan Dance, and all of Janet's previous blogs that outline everything that's happened with this case, including a page-by-page description of every legal document that's been filed. You can do so here at the G&T Show. It's
And
awesome
let me,
stuff.
let me point out something. When people accuse our show of being, quote, haters, where were they when we had his fucking lying ass on our show and pimped out Axanar?
I was really excited about it when it came out, when Prelude.
But we don't want to talk about that. We only want to talk because we ask questions. Go fuck your sister. I'm so tired of their myopic fucking... They're the kind of people that fucking allowed churches to be burned. Because they have this little fucking view and they're just disgusting hillbillies. Remember, they made fun of people living in trailer parks. You know who's going to be living in trailer park? Your Lord High and Savior when he's fucking lost everything.
Oh, he's been bankrupt before. I don't think that'll change anything. He just
How about
knows.
that? Defend his serial bankruptcy.
It'll
But yet
be
he can fucking go to Vegas every month and fucking play poker. And go
What?
from con to con, fucking pimping his
No.
shit, which never gets fucking made. But then he wants to talk shit about, quote, Elvis impersonators and voice actors. Oh, I'm sorry. They happen to have IMDb credits. What's he got? Fucking self-flagellation.
Notice we're not stopping him.
So sick of their fucking cult-like bullshit. Ugh.
I think that was the end.
Yeah, I
No,
think
I just...
for this moment.
Thank you, Robert Reyes. Yeah,
Anytime.
Terry, last week there were some pictures of Supergirl that were posted that, Mike, I think you would have to agree, they were quite super.
They were, yes.
What was that from? Some TV show.
Well, I'm glad that she got moved to the CW. Congratulations.
Yes.
I'm very sad
it's
about
so
Agent
good.
Carter. I am sad about Agent Carter, but yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully somebody will pick them up, but I doubt that ABC or Disney will be. I don't know. We'll see. All right. We have some news and a ton of it. And because we haven't had a lot of time dedicated to them in the past, I want to start off with gaming news right now.
I want to play a Star Trek game. Gaming news.
Star Trek Online made a bunch of announcements over the past couple
Yes,
of
a
weeks.
bunch.
When I was in, before I left for Hawaii, before we came back from Hawaii, yes, I went to Hawaii. And one of those things that I thought was really kind of interesting and pretty amazing was the announcement of the fact that Star Trek Online is going to be coming out to consoles, both Xbox One and PS4. This is fucking huge news. But Mike, you said that it sounds like they're going to be that people who play on the consoles will have a different server.
That is the rumor that I've heard. I don't know for sure, but from what I've heard, the people playing on the consoles will not have the exact same experience, will not be on the same server, and will not be able to access the same friends as people playing on PC. I
Each
hope that
console
is
will be on their own server.
Each so
console.
PS4 server and an Xbox One server.
Yep,
And then
and then
there's a
there'll be
PC.
the PC.
Okay.
Each will have their own server, and then what you'll do is the PC will come out ahead of the consoles because they'll have different release schedules as they go through all their stuff for checks and everything else with Microsoft and Sony.
Okay, well, that kind of makes sense as much as it bums me out because, part of the reason why is because, of course, I have friends who play console and I would really like to play with them, but it sounds like that won't be
Well, and I know
possible.
that for like Lady Renegade, that's a big help because
Oh my
with
God.
her wrist problem, it'd be much easier for her to play on console.
Steve.
What the fuck, Steve?
Oh my.
Oh, I think he's, I don't know.
Dare you
Steve.
sully Carol like that?
Oh, too funny. Okay. Um,
Don't look at the chat room. Just don't look at the
just
chat room.
don't look. Okay, keep moving.
Told you Superman was a dick.
So I'll be a little bummed not to be able to play with my friends who play on console. But I kind of understand the reasons why that has to be, and that not too surprising. But the fact of the matter is that it's good for the game to see that people who play console will have access to the game via Xbox One and PS4. I think that's going to be pretty fucking amazing. Also announced while I was away is the new expansion. Well, it was announced right before I left, but ever since then, a lot of new news has come out about Agents of Yesterday, which is the new expansion that's due out probably just before the convention, right? We're looking at
It's sometime this summer is what they're saying, and so it could be in June, could be July, could be in
could be
August.
August.
I'm personally hoping that it does not get released at the same time as the convention, but
Because we
I
want to
want
play.
I want to play, and if I'm stuck, or not stuck, but if I'm at the con having fun, then I'm obviously can't play Stowe. So come on, guys, don't do this to me.
Today on First World Problems.
Yeah, really. There's a lot of new missions that are coming up. These are all TOS oriented. We get to travel back in time to the original series. Yes, it's time travel, and yes, we get to go back to the TOS era again in the game. This does not bother me. I think it's absolutely appropriate, especially to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. I was very excited, however, to see that they are bringing Scotty to the game, and it's being voiced by Christopher Doohan.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. He plays his father's role in Star Trek Online, and it kind of makes it more canon for me.
With all this voice acting going on, they ought to call it Star Trek Online Continues.
Pretty much. Because Vic Mignogna voiced the new trailer, and he's going to be voicing a new captain in.
Yes, you will not be
the-
playing Kirk.
He's not Kirk, everybody.
So let's see. We have Vic, Kipley. Hi, Kipley. Michelle.
Michelle,
Hi,
Speck,
Michelle. Now James
and Christopher.
and Christopher.
Yeah, yep. And Chase, although she wasn't
That's
in
right.
continues, but
Um,
Yeah, and
Jeez.
looks like they're also bringing back Daniels.
oh yay, crewman
Stop
Daniels.
it. Terry, did you really expect time travel without him?
I know, especially not when we're dealing with the temporal Cold War. Of course he's
Yeah.
going to be there, and I'm actually okay with it. I'm happy, but again, it's one of those things where his character pops up and you kind of go, "Oh my god, he's back."
I
He's
don't
like
hate
cute,
I
man,
don't
you
hate
know?
Daniels like you do.
I don't hate. Well,
Hey,
I,
think of it this way: if it wasn't for Daniels, you wouldn't have that beloved Enterprise J.
agreed. I love the J.
Wow, it looks like a 2-year-old drew it.
No,
I'm
it doesn't.
sorry, Mr.
Drexler.
Drexler. I know you could kick my ass in a second, but I just don't like it.
A lot of people don't, but I do. I think she's shiny.
Okay, it's not supposed to be shiny.
Yeah, shiny,
Oh,
beautiful. She's all sleek.
oh no.
I
The
love her.
Sovereign is sleek.
Well, the Sovereign is
The
sleek.
Sovereign is a fucking Lamborghini.
She's sweet, isn't she? So, yeah, I'm sitting there looking at my two models of my E, and I'm like, oh, she's so shiny.
It's a Tesla.
It is so sweet.
What's wrong with the J? It looks like, remember Stretch Armstrong? It looks like a Enterprise made out of the same thing Stretch Armstrong, where somebody just stretched it.
Oh,
So you won't be getting some of the new ships
I'm
then.
totally flying that ship when it comes out. I already bought it. I got the kit, the package. I got the pack. I got the agent's pack. I'm so excited. I can't wait to open it. Oh, I love her. I think she's awesome.
By the way, Stretch Armstrong,
so
while it
we
may
have-
have felt soft when you clubbed your sister in the head with it, you learned it really wasn't soft.
We totally did hit each other with it. It
That shit hurt.
it hurt,
too.
man. It was like, well, it was rubber, right? It was
Did
like,
you ever cut it open?
oh yeah, of course we
Oh
did.
yeah, you
My
had
dad
to,
was a surgeon. We had scalpels laying around the house. We cut
Christ.
everything open.
Including the cat. Well, it was alive.
We had more stuffed animals with stitches.
It's like some
We have a
Roger
lot
Corman
of
nightmare.
links. We have a lot of links regarding bringing Scotty to SDO, bringing Daniels to SDO, bringing Chekhov to SDO. Who's playing Chekhov? Do we know?
I don't recall offhand.
Okay.
We can only hope that they go to the continues well.
You never know.
I thought George
Ow.
Takei was doing
No,
that.
no. Chekhov. They're actually getting. From what I think, they're actually getting.
Walter Koenig, sorry.
Koenig. Yes,
Oh, very cool.
that's a huge get. Yeah.
No shit. And of course, Lita is returning. Hi, Chase. And a couple of new missions are being described. In the Shadow of Cestus, the Torian Affair tutorial mission description. A tutorial mission?
Yeah, these are part of the tutorial.
Nice.
There's a new tutorial for the temporal agents.
It does
Interesting.
look so pretty.
Oh, that's right, because they're going to be doing something along the lines of the Delta.
Yes.
So where they're gonna want you to roll 3 new characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The effects of this, it looks impressive. I was very impressed.
I know, Nick. I know. I have to say though,
Explain to me. No, seriously, explain to me. You or Steve, or even you, Mike. What possible purpose? Once you play the same mission, I don't know, after the 7th or 8th time, how are you just not clawing your own eyes out?
Well, these particular missions, like the Delta missions, have little hidden Easter eggs that expand the story in a different way. So there is a little bit of new stuff attached to these
Oh, wait a
missions.
minute. Jay Galloway says
when
1
you're
character,
playing-
not 3. Federation only. No KDF or Romulan.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
three
is
tac
true.
fed or engineer. Okay.
Yeah. So there is something new or a new take on some of these missions, but also there are new missions that are only available through to these players, to these temporal agents.
Got it. Okay.
Plus, you're really
Well,
asking the wrong question to me, as I've got 44 characters, so I
Yeah.
really
This is
don't
what
have
I
an issue.
need.
Only
Why?
playing.
I
Why?
have 22, so
Why? Why?
'cause
Why?
it's
Why?
fun.
Why? Why? Why?
It's the
Why?
same.
Why?
You
Why?
like a
Why?
film,
Why?
you
Why?
keep rewatching it. It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
But you also have to then grind and do everything for 44 characters.
Sometimes.
That's what I've got a child for.
That's true too.
He's got a sweatshop. He's got
Yeah,
like
Steve,
50.
Steve has a bunch of Filipino children in his basement playing Star Trek Online.
It's like
Grind that dilithium.
scanning
Grind
for
that
these
dilithium.
things. I just let my son do that.
That's so great.
2 hours later, how many you got now?
Daddy said more smack.
Grind that dilithium. Daddy needs a new ship.
Why have you stopped? I need some more upgrades.
Please, Father, may I have some more gruel? I don't
Crap.
see 5,000 dilithium.
Craft like the wind.
Told you can play once you've done this for 8 hours.
We
Daddy, my wrist hurts.
Don't worry, it's good practice.
yeah, clicker finger. Oh, too cute.
Finger just
timelines.
bent like a fish hook.
Actually, I was gonna say, new release notes for timelines came out.
Yeah, I got a problem with timelines too.
Uh-oh, here we go.
No, but go ahead, Mike, first.
Okay, well, there's a new update, release 1.1.1. I was kind of disappointed about the quote unquote big feature that they're advertising and include that they're highlighting in this patch. I think some of the other things that came out are probably a little more interesting, a little bit more important. But apparently, the big item in this patch is whoever levels their character to level 100 and fully equips them first out of all the players, whoever gets a crewman to a level 100 and equipped with all equipment gets immortalized on the information screen. Their name and the date that event occurred is attached at the bottom of the window. Big whoop-de-doo. Sorry, I just don't find that at all interesting.
Yeah, well, here's my problem. When I'm trying to level someone up, there's got to be a store or something. I'm tired of waiting when the only way to get a piece of equipment is by the transmission, and that shit never comes around.
The cadet challenges are supposed to help kind of bridge some of that. It's still not a perfect system. From what I understand from the last Disruptor stream, they're still reevaluating, the drops. They gave us a sneak peek of the battle arena, at least the initial load screen. And again, I'm not sure what kind of drops they're going to be giving, but I think what they're trying to do is try to create multiple ways to get the items that you need.
Yeah, because I'm tired.
As of right now, yeah,
It's been a month I've been trying to level somebody up, and I can't get that one little piece of equipment. So they're like stuck on level 30, and that's just as frustrating as hell.
For me, it's always the gold ones that it's stuck, and the only way you can get it is through the shuttle missions, and there's no other thing that you can do to run it. And I keep running these things, and I still don't get it, and it's so frustrating. And it's always the high quality ones as well. Because I've got to level 100, a 1-star and a 2-star character.
Yeah.
That's it. I haven't been able to get the other ones higher because all these good quality ones keep getting stuck.
Here's my other thing. I will say this is partially my own fault, mainly my own fault. But timelines, I'm also going to hold you responsible. I'm going to use the axe in our defense and say, it's all your fault. I did nothing wrong. I had a purple character. Notice the tense. had a purple character
Okay.
who had all 4 stars.
Okay.
He was at level 80. I was working
Okay.
on 90.
Okay.
I went to the Guardian of Forever. As a little aside, real quick, I get a little charge every time I hear "Behold."
Behold, I know.
I really
And
get a
the 3
charge out of
different
that.
ones come up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to the Guardian of Forever and got a pack of like 10 characters, or 10
10
things.
things.
I, you know, not like 3 were schematics, 7 were characters that I already had and were already starred out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm deleting them.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish you would put something in there to say, "Are you sure you want to delete this character?"
They
Because
did.
then the
They
purple
do.
character would
They
not
do.
have been deleted.
They do. Trust
It
me.
did. No,
I
it didn't.
I deleted 4 or 5 characters, and I have each time gone in and sent them a message saying, I bought a bunch of packs, deleted all these characters, and accidentally deleted a character I shouldn't have. This is the character that I accidentally deleted. Can you please help me get them back? And within a few days, they have replaced the character. However, they give me they give me a level 1, and you
Yeah.
have to pretty much start all over. The first time, they do give you training manuals to help, but after the first time, that's it. You're on your own. So that's the downside. But
Yeah, I had a
um,
Kirk. A fucking Kirk.
Mm.
but yeah, as
I'm
soon as it
sorry,
happens,
Nick.
I would send support a message, and because the longer it waits, the harder it is for them to verify that the character existed on your account. So if it just happened,
No, it was earlier in the week.
oh, my condolences on airlocking the wrong crewman.
Yeah.
In the words of Homer J. Simpson,
No. Okay, so other things that have come out with this this update is the Daba wheel it should be available for everyone now. The time portal has been revamped. There are now three areas. There's dilithium, there's crew, and there's shuttle boosts. Shuttle boost is another thing. So basically, what these do is, if you're running shuttle missions, you can slot them into these boosts into your shuttle. It's only one at a time, and it can increase time. So this is useful if you want to go to bed and actually sleep through the night without having to feel like you're wasting shuttle times. They'll double the rewards if you do use that. There's also ones that will reduce time. There are others that will give specific skills boosts. So, for instance, if you're a little low on diplomacy, you slot a diplomacy boost.
Yeah.
You get it increases your chances of getting.
I was at like 60% for a shuttle mission. I hit the engineer one, and it took it up to 90.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, another bitch.
Uh-oh.
Somebody explain to me, what are the odds 4 shuttle missions in a row, all between 90 and 4%, all 4 failures?
Yeah, from what I understand, the way that the success failure thing works, it's based on the entire server, everyone that's there. So, which is that success rate is deceiving if that's the case, because you could have 100%, and if everyone else has 100%, or only a certain percentage of those people are actually going to end up getting a success rate. It's like, what? It doesn't make sense, but that's kind of the way that they have it set up. Although they are making changes. For instance, they updated the shuttle mission loot tables for every faction to have better odds for lower rarity faction gear. Captains who have completed numerous missions for a particular faction should see an increase in the appearance of lower rarity faction gear as a reward. So, with this latest update, we should be getting better drops. More what has traditionally been low drop rate items should now be a little bit easier to get. We'll see, but yeah.
Wait, what?
they revamped the loot tables for the shuttle mission. So
Oh, okay.
things that were harder to get should be now a little bit easier to get. So like, they are listening to what players are saying, what players are needing, and they are making adjustments as they can. But it takes time, sadly. You know, that's just the process of production in games and other things. But they are listening. They are trying to work out some of the issues that people have. So, and they've also set the cadet challenges to unlock at level 10 now. I don't know what it was set before because I'm a lot higher than 10. But yeah. Also in the Disruptor stream that this last week, they revealed a lot of new characters. And I have to say, some of them I'm actually kind of excited for. Kern, Carol Marcus, Melora from DS9. We're getting a new Geordie, a Barkley. So it's a lot of cool stuff that I'm kind of really excited about and looking forward to. Okay, I'm done. Nick, any other issues with timelines? Or Terry, do you have issues with timelines?
I do not actually.
Is it working on your tablet?
No. I play it on my phone now. I've been playing it on, although it works on both. Yeah, my iPad was giving me some problems. I'm not sure if it was like one of the iOS updates that I had. It kept crashing on me. But I since then I moved it over to my Android, and I've been playing on that ever since, and it works fine now. I just what I needed to do is actually I sign in, I get my chronotons, I sign out, just because especially when I was out and about, didn't have time. So I collected a bunch of chronotons. Now I've just got to work on leveling. I'm still looking for one of my low level characters. I don't really have a security officer that's a 1 or a 2 star that can take part in the cadet challenges. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm still looking for a security. I don't want to tell you how much dilithium I've busted trying to get a low level or energy credits, whatever those are.
Yeah.
I
Sadly,
burned
that's the
through
only way
those
to
trying to find, and I keep getting like fucking medical officers. I'm like, stop it with the medical officers. I just
Well,
need a security officer.
sadly, medical officers it is the characters or the class or the skill, the job that is lacking the most in the game.
Really?
Yeah,
'Cause-
Yeah.
sadly.
What is?
Medical? Oh
Medical.
my God.
And
God,
that's
I-
I
I
have a
have a
Pulaski,
one-star-
a McCoy, I have a Bashir.
yeah, I've got 2 of the Doctor. I've got like 3 Crushers. I've got a Pulaski.
I have 3 Crushers.
As a matter of fact, my only 100 is the 1-star Crusher.
I have an 80 McCoy, 1 star.
Well, a lot of these new characters that they're going to be adding are going to have when they were creating them, they were trying to figure out what skills or what gaps are needed, what players are needing in order to complete some of these missions a little bit more efficiently. And that helped them decide which characters and what skills are going to be introduced. So hopefully this will these new characters that are coming, although they're 3 stars, so they won't qualify
Right,
for cadet.
exactly. And that's my biggest problem is because to really get the low level characters, you have to buy the uncommon pack.
Yeah,
And that's 90,000 credits
for 10.
for 10 of them. And, so I'll earn enough credits. I'll buy the pack and I get, a bunch of clothing
It's
and 3 medical officers.
yeah, it's about between if you purchase if you exchange dilithium for energy credits, it's roughly 30 dilithium for another pool. And after the second dilithium exchange to energy credits, it just gets more expensive after that.
Right.
But yeah, sadly,
well,
And
I'll
I'm tired.
figure it out.
Just once, I'd like to get a fucking character on the Dabo wheel that I don't already have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Although
I
I
still
have to
got to get
say-
something on the Dabo wheel for
Yeah.
anything decent. I always
If I
get all the crap stuff.
yeah, if I
Well,
get
I will.
some
I have gotten a couple of drops that I needed, like a uniform shirt or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
that's
too.
one thing I do like about the Dabble Wheel is that the items that they offer are usually ones that you can actually use. At least
Not for me.
in my case, almost all of them have been something I can slot almost immediately. So maybe it's because I've got a shit ton of characters and the chances of me actually getting something or using something is higher. But
well,
Yeah,
we
I've
need
got.
to kind of go, Steve.
I was going to say I've got 83 characters, and every time I get something from the Dabber wheel, it's useless.
oh,
I
Oh, I have 105. I
I have
actually
105. I have
nice.
105, and every time I get one, but I have to say, I don't necessarily mind so much getting the duplicates because I'll just level them up to like 3-star or whatever. You
Right,
know,
and then
usually it's what it is, 3-star.
then
Then I
airlock
dismiss
them when
them,
they
and you
come
get a
back.
nice 5-star training
Yeah, exactly.
token.
Oh,
So
and I will tell you, you get 4 5-star training when you doff a purple.
oh
It's
my god,
not
I
free.
almost spit my coffee.
That's
I
how I knew.
yeah.
Because when it came up with like the 4, I was like, what the fuck just happened? And then I
Mm.
Yeah.
realized, and I was like, I looked up at the sky and I said, "God!" But I do what the fuck?
I
I
have
had a question.
144 characters. If
How
anyone
many?
was
144?
144.
My Borg cube is at like level 7.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, I had a question. Shit. Okay, we were talking about characters. We were talking about getting. Oh, okay. What level do I have to have Tuvok and Neelix at to make Tuvix?
Okay, you need either you need to have an ambassador Neelix.
I have one. I have both.
Okay.
I already have both at high levels at like 50 or higher.
It does not
but
matter level, but one of them has to be 3-star. The other one can be any. But
Okay,
one
so
of
I
them
have
has
to
to be
make them the
3-star.
star. Okay.
Yeah. So, for instance, if Tuvok is 3-star and Ambassador Neelix is 1, then you can upgrade to
Okay,
Tuvix.
that's what I need to do then because I want
Yeah.
to make a Tuvix.
That's so cool.
That
It
is.
really is cool.
I'm hoping that they allow us to create a Curzon Odo someday because I think that would be fun.
I don't remember why.
I remember when Dax was going through and meeting all of her.
Oh, that's right.
and-
Meeting
and-
all her old hosts.
Yes, and then Curzon and Odo, they kind of like merged into this new person.
And-
I hope they do something similar for that.
I know we're getting really inside baseball here,
Yeah.
but the 1-star Jake
Yeah.
with the rainbow sweater or the
Yeah,
checkered
Mhm.
the
sweater.
writer Jake. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you guys have that, and is it really worth getting? Because I keep getting it and just not using it. Because
He's got high diplomacy, which can be useful for the cadet challenges, but
Yeah.
You know who my
Oh, I
best
didn't even
diplomat
think
is
about
right
that.
now?
white.
I
But he's
have-
also white quality, so it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, once you get to like level 30, it starts just becoming a grind to level them.
I love. You know who I love for diplomacy? And I
Kai
know
Wynn.
No, yeah, Kai Wynn works her butt off, but I have a drunk Troy.
oh
Yes,
yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, I've got a Councillor Troy who's a 1-star white, which
I've
was
got
the
that
only
one
way I
too.
could complete the cadet challenge, and I've got
Oh.
her up to level 100 because that was the only way I could complete
Yeah.
it.
Drunk Troy, man, she's the diplomat ass, man. She kicks it.
She's blended.
She's one of my newest acquisitions, so she's still very low.
Oh, I love her.
But yeah, I can
You
see
know
how
how
she
hard
can be
it is
useful.
for me to level up Shran?
Yes, I know. He needs so many of those damn things. Cadet
Yes.
challenges, though, the ones on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
you can get the things you need fairly easily through there.
Okay, what's the schedule then for the cadet challenges, Mike?
Okay, so it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the Starfleet. Okay,
That's
so
the Chronotons, right?
yes, then that gives you the Chronoton rewards. The one on Tuesday is for non-humans, so it's aliens and hybrids.
Okay.
And that is the one that's going to give you your Shran Andorian little medals.
Very
Okay.
cool. Okay. Cool.
And obviously, other things that aliens need are a little bit easier to get on Tuesdays. But it's only that one day, and that's the day that they reward training manuals.
Okay, cool. Look at
But
the
never the
G&T
high
show
end
dropping
ones.
some knowledge.
Who
Mhm.
knew,
Hey,
huh?
I have a question.
Oh God.
Hey, speaking of which, Kajira, are you still with us?
Is he? Is Alan,
Right
are
now,
you
he's
there?
sitting in his chair in his office, head
Oh no.
cocked to the left, a little drool going down the
He
chin,
might be. I know. The
stuck
poor
in the
guy.
beard.
I think he took a break.
So when there's Blended Troy. Um,
I
when
love
when,
her.
when are we getting back on the 50 to 50? Are we going to do a supplemental to
Today.
catch up?
That's
we
what
are.
Alan is there. We're doing one today.
Alan,
That's the plan.
Alan,
Oh, there he is.
Alan.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. Wait, were you spanking? Is that what you were doing to Blended Troy?
I will never say.
And the lack of an answer means yes.
Yes. We dropped a shit ton of knowledge and some semantic shenanigans. We are a knowledgeable crowd.
And in timelines.
Yes. So
Oh.
I know we have a lot of other links. I want to touch briefly before we get to 50 for 50. We do have a lot of general news. I'm just going to mention them. Please check the links on the show notes after this gets posted, and be aware this is going to take a couple of days this week because Mikey's en route. He's going to be traveling.
Yeah,
So
and then
I
I've got
don't
to
care.
get caught up on a few things. So
What do you think we pay him for?
we
the
don't pay him.
the audio should be out today, but
Yes,
show notes audio should be out today as soon as Steve gets it done. And then the show notes themselves, I'll go back and add them to the post later. So Monday, Tuesday, I should have that updated. But in the meantime, you should be able to at least listen to the episode probably around the same time as usual.
Cool. We're going to I'm going to just go through these real briefly. The new television news.
Let's watch a Star Trek movie. Movie news.
The new trailer for the new television series dropped this week. It's very nondescript. I can't tell you. There's not a whole lot to it other than the fact that they revealed the new logo, and people are already overanalyzing. I love Trekkies. I do love them. They're totally overanalyzing the words "new cruise."
Yes.
The word crew was pluralized to say new cruise. So it's very possible everybody's now assuming that it will be an anthology series, which would be really cool. I like that idea.
Of
Well,
course,
there's
not necessarily.
there's other possibilities, but
Sure.
but I do like the idea of the
in other words,
anthology.
we're not going to follow one ship, which would be great.
Yes.
You mean the universe would expand even more?
Mhm.
You know, that whole canon thing, not weighing somebody down. Sorry. You mean there is a rumor mill, of course, that we all laughed our asses off, although it would be kind of fun. The rumor mill was, of course, because Castle got canceled, that Nathan Fillion might be up for a new captain. We love the brown coaters.
Don't tease. I will spank to that. I will spank to that.
A lot of us would really, really love it, but I
Yeah.
sincerely doubt it.
There, above that, there's also a post where someone kind of like speculated which 10 actors they would also like to see play the captain in the new series.
Yeah.
And just some fun alternatives. Nathan Fillion at the time is not included in that, so that's why I included the second link for him.
Got it. The website for the new series is now available, although there's not a whole lot on it yet, just the trailer.
It's trailer, logo, and then subscribe to the newsletter.
Hey, real quick, I'm putting in the chat room something I got this week.
Okay.
I cannot wait.
Oh, very cool. Is it the models?
No, it's
all
all
it's the
remastered
films.
on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's awesome.
Am I right?
Classic. Yeah, that's awesome.
And there's 8 of them on there. How fucking awesome is? No, it doesn't. Some say all it's the actual originals. You nut job. God, I love Sunsail.
So yeah, the Blu-rays for the new Universal Monster films, those are great.
Oh, very
Movie
cool.
news that came out, not a whole lot regarding the new movie other than the Star Trek Beyond, which we already discussed, the fan reel. The fan event they had on Friday night was also very cool because they dedicated a road in Paramount Studios and renamed it Leonard Nimoy Way. It was also a very touching piece and a tribute to Leonard from Paramount Pictures. Let's see, general news.
What's new in the Star Trek universe? General news.
Our hearts do go out to the family of William Shallert, the actor who played Niels Barris in Trouble with Tribbles, but also in my lifetime, I actually remember him more for playing Nancy Drew's father in the Nancy Drew
Yes.
series. When in the
By the
in
way,
the
that show's
late,
coming back, Terry.
is it really very
Yeah,
cool?
and I
I,
think they're doing a
Pamela
uh,
Sue Martin, man, I just remember her.
I think they're doing like a Persian woman as the lead.
Seriously,
Yeah.
sweet. That's awesome. But William Shallert was always one of those character actors who always played like the nice, intelligent, everyman, the father figure that, it's just a nice guy. He always had that nice guy kind of thing. And you would totally recognize him.
He was like a lawyer,
He
a
was on Patty
businessman,
Duke.
the father,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right.
And
He
a
was
very
93
distinctive
years old
voice.
and passed away this week. So our hearts do go out to his family. Another Trek actor passed away this week who also reminded me of William Shallert. And now I can't remember who it was. I'll get to it next week. I do apologize for not having that ready to go. The Starfleet Academy experience is now open at the Canada Aviation and Space Museum. Yay. The art exhibit that's going through for the
Canada.
50th
Hi,
anniversary
Sue.
is going to be led off with Leonard Nimoy's final piece of art. I think that's actually really kind of cool and absolutely appropriate. The Star Trek exhibit at the EMP in Seattle. I'm so jealous I didn't get to go. I haven't been able to go, and I probably won't be able to go. But some of the pictures that are coming out of the EMP from the opening night at the Star Trek exhibit looked pretty fucking awesome. A lot of people had a really great time. If you have the opportunity to head over there, the EMP is at the near the Space Needle. Go check it out. William Shatner announced his new series that he's participating in with like George Foreman and Henry Winkler and Terry Bradshaw. It's called
Better late than never.
Better Late Than Never. Thank you.
It looks fun.
It looks fun. It looks like a travel log / bucket list kind of thing. And let's see, we have a couple of other links regarding Idris Elba's new song, which looked really fun. And then what's this? Stewart to reprise his other famous role.
He's apparently he's going to be playing Dr. X one more time
Okay.
for X-Men.
Okay, cool.
Professor X.
Oh, excuse me. Professor X.
By the way,
He's
speaking
going to play
of
X, the man with X-ray eyes.
uh,
Ray Milland.
and I know I'm going off on a real quick squirrel here, but I saw an ad this yesterday for a remake of one of my very favorite films, and the film is called The Dresser. It's the film is being remade. The original film was Albert Finney, and please forgive me, I don't remember the name of the actor who played the dresser, which is horrible because he was the lead role. It's just an amazing role. And if any of you have ever seen it, it involves an actor and his personal dresser, the person who actually helps him get costumed and makeup, and his personal assistant, servant type of thing, during a performance of King Lear. And the actor is slowly, or actually very quickly, kind of dying and has severe mental problems. The new version of it will feature Sir Ian McKellen, and I'm so
Cool.
excited about this. It's not even fun, and it's gonna be fucking amazing. So, and Anthony Hopkins. So holy shit, I can't wait, and I believe it's gonna be on Stars or Showtime. I can't remember, but oh my god,
Right
amazing
on.
piece. It's an amazing play. It's just fucking unbelievable.
Book
And
news?
that's kind of it. Book news. Book news.
Tell me a Star Trek story. Book news.
Star Trek Legacies. Look, apparently, according to Dayton, Star Trek Legacies is getting the audiobook treatment.
Okay, Star Trek Legacies is the 3-book series for the 50th
Thing-
anniversary,
Things are
correct?
getting
Yes.
Skypey.
Are we?
Not here.
Yeah, it's coming through clear.
Everything's okay, my end.
It's good.
Right,
Are you
just me.
drinking, Alan?
Are you
Well,
there?
I'm still watching drunk Troy.
Oh, that wasn't Skypey. That was just you going in and out of consciousness.
Thanks a lot.
So yay. The
Robert
first time that
Reyes.
that this is great news for a lot of people who love audiobooks, especially because there was a period of time in which Simon and Schuster and CBS Pockets stopped it. They stopped doing audiobooks. So it's nice to know that they're investing again into the audiobook treatment. I think this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Huge news. It really is.
Is there an updated list out there? Because as you know, I've been reading a whole lot of different things lately.
Like what Ada 5 was doing.
I'm still tonks. But like I read, I'm really like shaking things up and just reading all different things. Like I'm currently getting ready to read a Louis L'Amour book because I've never read a Louis L'Amour book.
Yeah.
But is there an updated list somewhere because of the Trek books? Because I God damn it, I can't You know what? I can't even remember if I read Seekers 1 and 2 yet. I started and it looked familiar, but I can't remember. So I just need, and especially with Kirsten's Voyager books, because as we all know, I'm in love with Kirsten. She's all woman and a trucker voice at the same time.
She's actually on. I have a link that talks for Kirsten as well that we'll discuss in a moment.
Okay, but yeah,
I'll track down something for you.
what
Nick.
happened to DEF CON?
I think he just got busy with.
That's not an excuse. Why were we paying him?
We weren't.
Oh. Damn it. Yeah, but if there's a good list out there that's you can put on the Fan Dance or something, or
Yeah,
on
I'll find something.
our Facebook for the most up to
There
date.
used to be the
there's a
chart. I don't know if
lot
the
of-
chart's been updated.
Exactly, because there's a lot that has come out in the last few months. I was in a Books a Million yesterday, and I was like, I haven't heard of that one, but they're all for the 50th.
Yeah.
Like I saw 3 different Greg Cox ones.
Oh, cool.
Right
Yeah,
on.
Greg Cox started off the Legacies, didn't he?
Yeah, that should have been this month actually.
Yep. So what about Kirsten's new book?
It's Pocket Full of Lies. It's on the what is it, the Locus bestsellers list, number 2 for I think the 3rd time in a row.
Nice. Congratulations, Kirsten.
It's pretty awesome.
And I finished reading the book actually shortly after I arrived here in New Mexico, and it's a great story. I really enjoyed it. So you definitely check it out.
We will. And Boarding the Enterprise, Transporters, Tribbles, and the Vulcan Death Grip in Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. Is that really the name of the book? Holy
And
crap.
it's David Gerald and hold on, I'm opening it up. I was surprised to see Robert J. Sawyer. David Gerald
wow.
and
Yay.
Robert J. Sawyer are the editors
Friend of the
for
show.
this, and so it's a collection of stories or essays. Let me see. I think it might be essays.
Well, Mike's doing that. Robert Reyes came out and said, his name is Robert and he's never read Dune or seen Dune. Hi, my name is Gettysburg. I've never read a Ray Bradbury novel.
Wow, not even in high school?
No.
Trekkies and Trekkers alike will get starry-eyed over this eclectic mix of essays on the groundbreaking original Star Trek, one of the most culturally impactful science fiction series of the last 50 years. Star Trek writers D.C. Fontana, David Gerrold, science fiction authors such as Harold Weinstein, and various academics, including Paul Levinson, share behind-the-scenes anecdotes, discuss the show's enduring appeal and influence, and examine some of the classic features of the show, including Spock's irrationality, Scotty's pessimism, and the lack of seatbelts on the Enterprise, among other things. So,
Jesus.
I still love that cutout piece of
Well, then I guess I have read
Nemesis where they
Bradbury.
put in the seatbelts into the. I
I'm
love
sorry. I have read Bradbury then. I have read Fahrenheit 451.
Yes.
But I'm thinking of like the Martian Chronicles and things like that.
Yeah.
Never read those. So I correct myself. I have read Fahrenheit 451. Thank you, Shanna.
Cool. And then so off from book news real quick.
Convention news.
Couple of new people were announced for Star Trek Mission New York. Robin Curtis and Phil Plait, the bad astronomer, somebody who is freaking hilarious too if you've ever had the opportunity to see him in person. And I love the fact that they're bringing in Phil Plait for Star Trek Mission New York. I think it's going to be great.
Now I'm hungry because I have to fill plates.
Yeah, and we will be there. The G&T show will be there, and we got our press passes. Woohoo! We are set. We are ready to go. And yes, we will also be at Star Trek Las Vegas. How's that going, by the way? How as far as there we are at Las Vegas. Guests, due to the sold-out nature of the event, don't forget they are up to 86 guests and counting.
nice.
Let's see who else was announced. I'm still excited about Neil McDonough. I think that's going to be awesome.
Oh, I missed that. Dum
Oh
Dum Dugan?
yeah, he's going to be there. You didn't know that?
No, and
Lieutenant
if people
Hawk.
don't know who he is one of the great. He never is the lead, but he's always awesome, and no matter
Yeah.
what he's in.
Who's doing what in the background?
I'm playing Bejeweled.
Oh.
Sorry.
So, but he played Dum Dum. So I'm trying to figure out who they've added recently, and that's a little bit difficult. Jeffrey Combs, Casey Biggs, Sally Kellerman, Bobby Clark, Greg Itzen. Oh my God, the president from 24. Andrew Robinson. I'm excited. Gary Graham. So,
And I want to thank Mike for all his hard work. Myself and Garth Phoebus, photographer extraordinaire, have gotten our emails for our press passes for AwesomeCon.
Nice.
Excellent.
So kudos to Mike. There'll be a little extra something in your paycheck.
Sweet.
Susie
Oh,
Plaxton will be
that's
there,
right.
Alan.
Ooh.
You love Susie Plaxton.
Alan, did you ever see her on Everybody Loves Raymond?
I did actually. I have seen her.
She plays the bitch very well.
She plays everything very well.
It's true.
I had the
Alan
opportunity
Smith
to
and-
meet her at a small convention, and she talked with me for 15 minutes. She's charming.
He fell in love.
And then the restraining order was filed.
They're pretty
And then the restraining order was fired. Yes.
She kept him busy while the cops were on their way. Oh, okay. Let's get to 50 for 50.
What's your favorite episode? GNT shows 50 for 50.
Okay.
Right on.
Well, in the interest of time, we're going to do one episode this week, and then next week we start into the top 10. So I did announce 2 episodes last time, but we're only going to talk about the number 11. It is The City on the Edge of Forever. Behold. How
I
timely
have
was
an
that?
interesting theory I'll get into later.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
It's very funny.
we rewatched this yesterday, so we started putting out new theories. Then we came up with our fanfic on this one. Um,
Actually, we think we actually came up with a new segment for the show. So
yeah, we'll
How
talk
did I
about that
Yes.
miss
in a moment.
this?
I know, right?
Okay.
We'll get to it.
So
But go
just
ahead.
just to remind everybody, The City on the Edge of Forever, the episode, it starts off with the Enterprise is being buffeted by these energy waves coming from a planet that they're investigating, and they get there, and they're still not sure what's going on, but there's a sudden burst of energy, and the panel explodes, and Sulu gets injured, and we have to bring McCoy up to the bridge to take care of him. And so he uses a controversial drug, and Sulu is revived, and it's like, okay, that's great. But what happens is there's another energy wave, and McCoy falls on the hypospray and is injected with this drug, and goes kind of a little bit
Batshit
off the grid.
crazy.
Goes batshit crazy,
It's like
and
PCP. It was like angel dust, man.
becomes
He just torqued
paranoid
himself.
and
But he
runs off
looked
the
good.
bridge.
He had lesions on his face too. I mean, he was like tweaking in the few minutes
Yes,
between.
yeah, he's tripping. So eventually, what happens is they have to go. He gets down to the transporter room, beams down to the planet, to the heart of where all these energy waves are coming from, and so a landing party goes down to retrieve him. So they get down there and they encounter the Guardian of Forever, which is the big arch that everyone has seen, the iconic arch. And what we learn is our Guardian has the ability to show history, and not just any history. I mean, they can show Earth history or whatever, but he starts playing the history of Earth for them to look at. Well, they start to kind of trip out on that and forget that McCoy is still running around deranged. And at some point, McCoy runs towards the Guardian, goes through it, and assassins! And history has changed. And they discover the Enterprise is gone. And what they're told by the Guardian is that McCoy has somehow changed history, and things that were are no longer. So, of course, they have to go back and fix it. So they rerun it, and Spock and Kirk jump into the Guardian and end up in a circa 1930s American city. They play the old anachronistic thing where they're out of place, out of time, until they can find a way to fit in. But they eventually encounter Edith Keeler, who runs a mission soup kitchen. Right. And try to figure out what to do next. They don't know where McCoy's going to be. They don't know when he's going to show up or where he is or whatever, but they have a theory that time will bring them all together. And Spock starts building a rudimentary computer. And as he's going through the data banks of his own tricorder, he realizes that there is that Edith Keeler is the key to the time change, and that there's two possible things. One, she will become a leader of a pacifist movement that will meet with the president and basically delays the United States entering the war, and that causes Germany to develop the A-bomb and World War II and change history. Or the other alternative is that she dies in a car accident and history goes on as we know it. And so they have to decide what they're going to do and how it's going to happen. Well, eventually McCoy shows up, and he runs into Edith Keeler as well and is being taken care of in the mission, although
in a different area,
a different place, so they don't see each other. And of course, during this time, Kirk, as he is always wont to be, ends up in a love relationship with the main character.
Yeah.
As we know, Kirk can't.
Well,
keep his,
to be
fly
fair, he spends more time with her than he probably has with anyone else. So the feelings are probably a little more legitimate than.
Well, you bring up a good point there.
It is a matter of weeks,
They
right?
give an
Yeah, it's like
impression
a
that
month or
several
something.
weeks have gone by, that they've been there for some time. So anyway, so he's in love with her, but he realizes that in order to restore the timeline, that she's probably going to be killed in this car accident, and he's torn. He doesn't know what to do or how it's going to happen. So we progress to a certain point where they're going to go out for the evening. So they go to a movie. They're crossing the street, and he says something that makes her think of something McCoy said. She brings that up, and he goes, "McCoy! Oh my God, McCoy, he's in the mission. So he runs across the street, gets Spock. McCoy walks out. Hey, we're all reunioning here, and everything's great. Edith, not knowing what's going on, walks across the street, walks in front of the truck.
Reunioning?
Huh?
Did you say reunioning?
Yes. Yeah, I know. I made up a word. Thank you. As soon as I said it, I was like, shit. Anyway, so Edith is walking across the street, seeing the three of them getting together. The truck is barreling down. McCoy runs out to save her. Kirk stops McCoy. She gets hit by the truck. Time is restored. And they come back to the present time for their present time and beam back up. Everything is restored. But of course, we see the effect on Kirk having lost basically a woman he loved. So that's the story in a nutshell.
Yep.
This episode always ranks very high on different countdowns and lists of episodes. It's in fact, it actually was one of the remarkable things about it is it won the Hugo Award in 1968 for the best dramatic presentation. And interestingly enough, a television show did not win that award again for another 25 years. And it was another Star Trek episode that won the award.
Oh, sweet.
It was The Inner Light
Wow.
that won the award. So that's the distinction of that. The Hugo Award again is it's a science fiction writing award, and to have it actually done for a television series is actually quite rare, or at least it was back then.
Still is
So-
today. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
So so that's the synopsis. So let's
And
hear
it
your
ranked number
opinions about this
11 on our
episode.
poll, correct?
What's that?
It ranked number 11 on our poll, correct?
It ranked number 11 on our poll. It was the second highest ranked TOS episode.
So there's one more TOS episode.
There's one more TOS coming up.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. We were commenting about this last night. Is one of the things we always say is we deride the time travel episodes. The time travel episodes. Oh, they drive us nuts. Interestingly enough, of the top 10, 5 episodes are time travel episodes that we'll be getting to as we do the final countdown here.
So
Right
for
on.
as much as you deride it, people, you secretly love them.
Absolutely.
You can't get enough of it. And what the hell? Sunsail.
Okay.
It's
so
Liquid Cat.
Well,
my theory.
Yes.
oh yeah. So Mike has this theory about the episode. Let's hear it.
Yes. Edith Keeler is actually a temporal agent in the temporal Cold War. She was sent back in time to weaken the United States by turning it into a pacifist society, so that when the
Germans
Nakul-
win.
when the Nakul held the Germans, they end up winning World War II, taking over the world. However, when McCoy goes back in time, see, but the thing is, she dies before she's able to complete her mission. When McCoy goes back in time and saves her, he actually allows her, inadvertently allows her to complete her mission. So
And I
Kirk
said,
has to
and
go
I
back
said,
and-
right.
yeah, go ahead.
No, and we just ran with it and said, I said that Edith was planning on killing Kirk at the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
She really had a gun in her.
Yeah,
leg.
once she
So-
realized that he was a time traveler.
So we called this JJing the episode.
Yeah, so we took.
Jade- So we figured what we need to do now is create a new new
segment?
segment for
A new
the show
segment
called
called
JJ
We're-
that episode.
We're gonna JJ that episode.
So basically, what that means is that we're going to do a new Trek spin on an episode. Is that what we're doing?
Well, we'll figure the details later.
This is-
Okay.
Anyway.
how can you make a great a plot line
Just making
completely
my
and
big
utterly
toe hurt.
ridiculous? What was that?
I was just making my big toe hurt.
Oh,
All right.
we
Well,
laughed.
some other notable things about the episode, which I pointed out while we were watching, is it's one of the few episodes that does not start with a captain's log.
That's right. It
the-
does
the-
after the lead in. But
It does after the titles,
it-
but but the teaser does not start with it. It's an episode that goes right to the action, and I guess that's probably indicative of the fact that we're now at the end of the first season, and the characters are established, and the narrative is established, and so they didn't necessarily have to do that to set the stage. They let
It
the
also
action do it.
it also ends with a very quiet, if any, music.
Minor chord ending.
Well, I refer
Very
to
quiet.
that too as
And
go ahead.
not the cheerful backslapping, ha ha, look how funny we are.
Right.
And I want to say, is this the only time Kirk swears?
Yeah, he says let's get the hell out of here,
Yeah.
and it's
I
kind of
remember as a
notable
kid,
too.
that was very jarring to me.
Sure. No, I refer to this episode as a minor chord ending because what it is it's a little bit of a downer ending. So the music has that kind of thing. So
And
yeah,
there,
minor chord ending.
and at the end of the is it the teaser? It's almost Twilight Zone-ish when they look up and it goes up to the stars.
Oh yeah, it's actually after the first scene
Yeah,
when they realize that the time has
the
changed. It does.
yeah,
It was exactly a
Twilight
Twilight
Zone.
Zone shot because
Yeah, it
it
really was.
pans up into the sky and then we see a star field.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
it's
got I just got served a lawsuit by Mr. Ellison.
well,
Oh, Mr.
and that one's deserved.
That's right. Well, that's another thing about this episode too. And again, the original series used so many science fiction writers to write their episodes. They solicited those writers to do that. And Harlan Ellison, of course, being a very noted writer, wrote the script. But it's controversial, as we all know, is that the script had to be altered considerably for filming.
Television.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
television.
and that's one of the problems they had during the series. I remember reading in the Cushman books a lot about the science fiction writers. They would write these great stories, but they were unfilmable.
Unfilmable, yeah, because they
They
wrote
wouldn't
them as if it was a book.
exactly. They wouldn't fit in a what would have to be 45 minutes of
They had planets
footage.
colliding and millions of people on ships, and Gene was like,
Yeah,
we
we
have a
can't afford
model.
this.
Right.
We have a model of an asparagus.
Right. Well, the other thing too with this one too is the original story that Ellison wrote.
Much
A lot
darker.
they didn't feel that the characters were part of the they didn't follow the Bible. That
Well,
the characters were out of character.
and in fairness, he wrote it before anything had been filmed. So he was writing it just by the Bible, but also in kind of a vacuum. There was none of that. People didn't know the chemistry
Right.
of
Right.
the actors.
Right.
So being fair to Mr. Ellison, because I already have 7 lawsuits from him against me. And hey, to
I
the
made him say,
Axitards,
"Get off my lawn."
I have a challenge for you.
Oh God.
I dare you, any of you, to take a work of Harlan Ellison and try and make it your own and sell things off of it based on it
Yeah, no
without getting
shit.
a license. Please, I'm begging you.
Because you know what the one thing is that even when Mr. Ellison passes, his estate will have those rights.
And they
Trust
are
me.
as ornery as him.
Orange, they're gonna be just as bad. Okay.
Yeah, he speaking of this episode, was it 2 years ago when he was at STLV or
Yeah.
last year?
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, because we were across from
When I got him to say, "Get off my lawn."
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. My
Oh, I paid
doppelganger
somebody
did.
else to do it. That's right.
Um
Thank you, Nick. Be good.
he used an ugly word to describe Joan Collins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did not
And
like
it
her.
begins with a C and ends with a T, and there's an un in the middle.
It rhymes with hunt.
Does.
I don't know what you're talking
Would you
about.
like some cake? It's a bunt.
Yeah, he was none too kind about her.
And because the way she talked about the episode, because she's only had 4 or 5 acting jobs in her life.
She was awesome at the convention, though.
Yeah, she
She
was.
was amazing. She is such a lady.
With the little white gloves. She's
Yeah.
so funny. That's so her. Yeah, it was fun to watch this episode again, especially with Ellen and Mike in the room. you make those
People notice
wonderful
they're
kind of.
freezing me out, people? Did you notice that? They're freezing me out.
Who was what?
Well,
Mhm,
come to
mhm,
New Mexico and you can watch
mhm.
with us.
They're freezing me out, people.
Yeah, you could have come.
You could have been here.
You could have been
Mhm.
here.
Look at that. They're making whole new segments for this show.
I know. It was fun. It was fun.
No,
But
it really
it was fun to
that Mike, I love you, but that may be the worst thing you've ever come up with.
What, the theory
she's a
or
temporal
the
agent.
JJ the episode?
I would rather go with Lazarus from the alternative factor as being a temporal agent.
Oh.
Maybe he was as well. I don't know.
That would save that episode in a lot of ways.
JJ, that episode.
But we did. We had fun yesterday watching the episode together. Doing the dun dun
You're
dun.
pushing me out, people.
Yeah.
Dun,
Steve, you're
dun,
next.
And so,
dun.
what do we get to look forward to next week? It was.
I don't know.
Okay,
Steve and I
well,
aren't
number
involved.
10 that we'll do next week is a TNG episode. It is season 7, episode 25, All Good Things.
And we watched it again last night.
We
It was
did.
fun.
And then we're also going to do another episode next week, which will be number 9. And this is the time travel episodes. This is a TNG as well. It is season 3, episode 15, Yesterday's Enterprise.
I'm gonna give a little teaser for All Good Things. One of us from this show may think it's overrated.
It might be you.
I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Someone might think it's overrated.
And send your hate mail to Nick.
And while we have Nick here, and we'll send a little note to Janet. Nick, by the time we get to the end of the top 10, it's important for you to have in your pocket by the time we get to the end, you'll know. But what episode did not make the top 50 that you think should have?
Spock's brain.
There you go, right there. Yeah.
And
Threshold.
we'll talk
Yeah.
about those. Every one of us gets to choose one, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're thinking that we'll have a.
Well, I'm trying to remember. Alan, did the one where Troy is on the Romulan ship make it? Because I don't even remember.
Face
at
of the
this point.
Enemy?
Face of the Enemy.
Face of the Enemy? Let me take a quick look. Hold on.
I don't remember it.
And I had also suggested we should do an honorary TAS.
Oh God.
Mike's going to be doing a couple of episodes of the animated series.
Yeah, just to acknowledge it, because like it or not, it is part
Does
of.
that mean I
of
have to
Star
watch
Trek.
it then?
Yes.
Yes.
Nick,
have
Face
access?
of the Enemy was number 101 on the overall ranking, and it was the 25th TNG episode.
All right, then I'm going to tell you. I think that should have been in the top 50.
Well,
Good.
keep it in your pocket.
Keep it in
for
your
now.
pocket.
Keep it in your pocket. Yeah.
I'm going to keep it down the front of my pants.
Well, that's the
Whatever
way you are.
floats your
Keep it in
boat.
your pocket. Move it
Who
around in
wants
your
to
hand
help
a
me
little
get
bit.
it out?
No, thank y'all. It would be gross.
China looking at you.
It would be right. All right.
So
you,
that's
Alan.
that's it for 50 for 50 today.
Yay.
Right on.
Thank you. All right. Well, we only went a half an hour over today. Surprisingly enough, considering all of the information that came out. Again, we do have a ton of links regarding gaming news, book news, convention news, general news, blah, 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 blah. All of those will be posted on the website in a few days. Give Mike a little bit of time to get home, get situated, get connected, and then he will post those when he has the opportunity. But the edited version of this should go out pretty soon, next day or two. And
Usually
that-
by this afternoon.
oh, but you're going to be traveling.
I've been editing.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
Don't forget, my Cloverfield cookies will be available soon.
And you
Yeah.
don't want to know what's
Cloverfield
contained.
tea biscuits.
I'll be working on the editing as soon as I've done the bits for work.
Awesome.
Cool.
All
How
right,
dare you put work first?
I have a few announcements.
please.
I have something to say. Announcements!
Check out O Sports Show. They have a new logo. I'll be updating their website sometime this week. But check them out. They've got a new episode. Gates of Stovacore. Last night I heard the latest cut. We had to do some re-records or re-recording. We had some bad audio that we had to work with. So I listened to the cut last night. It's getting closer to release, so look for it in the near future. My friend Katie, she has put a call out for active and pre-existing guilds or fleets looking for the next great fun and rewarding challenge. If you are an interested guild leader or just an interested player that wants to check out a new mobile game, message her on Facebook. I'm going to include the link in show notes as well as in the chat room. The game is Transformers Earth Wars. It's a mobile game that launches on June 2nd, and if you participate in this beta test, you might be able to get some boosts and rewards that'll help you get the ball going. But I've been playing it for a few days now, and I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It's like a strategy game, kind of like Age of Empires. It's kind of like Age of Empires. Right now, the alliance that I belong to, we are at war with another alliance. And then there's like a PvP as well as a fleet type of PvP gameplay going on. I'm enjoying it, so check it out. It's called Transformers Earth Wars. It gets released on June 2nd, but if you want to get in early and check it out and help them, break it, message Katie. The link is in the chat room and in the show notes. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. We will see you again. Now, Nick, it's Memorial Day weekend next weekend. Are you going to be around?
Yeah.
Great. We all will be as well. So there will be a show next week. And
I want to remind everyone, Memorial Day is to honor those who died. Veterans Day is for those who are still alive or serving.
Thank you.
Many people confuse the two.
Yes, they do. So we will see you next week for episode 239, and that will be on May 29th, 2016 for Michael Hinman. And and until then, live long and prosper.
Kapla.
Goodbye, everyone.
Aloha.
Joel Untrue, hootin' out ears.
Music for the GNT show is provided by 5 Year Mission, Enterprise Blues Band, Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Rathor. The GNT show is a BLB production.
Move ahead, walk back to 10. Put a mini skirt on Mayo Man. Represent the human race. And we make space a happy place. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I've sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Gonna travel to new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see. A fancy-free galaxy. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Come and take a tour with me. There'll be no cons or Kobayashi. Gonna travel to the end and make new friends. zero G.